Series next on Fox.
Might this be strikeout number 12? Tino Martinez is gone.
Gratitude all the world, time and time again. So let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's ask and let's stay. Can you take me higher?
The world's largest banner looms just over the right field fence here at Fenway Park. Its day job, it's the Prudential building. A revivified Red Sox team has returned in hopes of tying this series up. And if there's the slightest of hopes, the Fenway faithful can go from worried to utterly convinced in a matter of minutes. But so too can the weather change. 4 hours ago it was sunny, then overcast, rain seemingly imminent. Now at sunset, a gorgeous orange sky, scattered clouds. Who knows? From Fenway Park in Boston, it's Game 4 of the American League Championship Series with Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, and Bob Brenly standing by for the play-by-play, and alongside Steve Lyons, I'm Keith Olbermann. The mood here is ugly, uncertain. Hurricane Irene has tickets for Game 4. We don't know when she shows up. We do know George Steinbrenner is here, was here last night, had none too charitable words for his Yankees in a post-game meeting with manager Joe Torre. After the 13-1 loss, Steve, did Joe and George have reason to worry?
I think they absolutely have reason to worry. They have not played well in this series. And bottom line, the Red Sox have been a totally different team when they come back home to play at Fenway Park. They've scored 45 runs in their 3 postseason games here. And it's a lot different than the story in Yankee Stadium. Jose Offerman hit the first pitch he saw last night off the bricks in right field. And then before you could say Red Sox, John Valentin got them ahead 2-0 with this home run as the second hitter in the bottom of the first. Valentin then hit a double off the left field wall to drive in the 3rd run off of Clemens, and that was all she wrote. As far as Roger was concerned, Offerman scores again, and then Nomar Garciaparra in Game 2 against the Yankees. He's been the offensive catalyst for this team all year long. He continues to swing a hot bat. He's hitting .538 through the championship series here. A big home run again last night, 4 hits he had, and as always, tremendous defense, saving runs right and left last night for Pedro Martinez. Pedro, on the other hand, did not have his great fastball, but he did have an awesome curveball and a devastating changeup, as you see right there. He did not throw a whole lot of fastballs, set up his other pitches with the fastball. There's a changeup to Paul O'Neill, and he couldn't hang. Roger Clemens, the greatest pitcher in franchise history for the Red Sox, had to leave this stadium with his head pointing towards the ground. It was not a good return for Roger.
Meantime, in the National League Championship Series, it is the fundament of every sports fan's knowledge that only one team on this continent has ever rallied from down 3-0 to win a best-of-7 championship, the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs in hockey's Stanley Cup. Still, all the teams in the belly of that beast have hope. Last night, the New York Mets were down 3-0. Today, it was 3-1. Tonight, Game 5 of the NLCS at Shea, and still in progress. In the first, John Olerud, who won last night's game. It's deep, and I don't think it's playable. A big 2-run homer off Greg Maddux, 2-0 Mets. They cough the lead back up in the 6th. The Braves can win it. Bases loaded, a man out. Maddux botches the squeeze. Ryan Klesko is caught in the rundown. Hershiser and the Mets get out of the inning. They are 2-2 now, top of the 10th. Back here, if you saw yesterday's game, you heard a lot of singing. Red Sox rooters rubbed it in on Roger. We continue. Do not the generations talk to each other here about the tragedy of premature jocularity? The real curse of the Red Sox. Fans celebrating too soon when we continue from Fenway. moments before Game 4 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park in Boston. The Boston Herald reports that fans leaving here yesterday tried to rip down a banner outside the Boston clubhouse. The banner honors the 2 times that Roger Clemens struck out 20 men in one game for the Red Sox. Clemens didn't have a very good time here yesterday, as you may have noticed from all the singing. Sox fans have been singing since Nuff said McGreevy and his Royal Rooters switched their allegiance from the National League to the American League in 1901. But lately, the game hasn't been over even after the fat ladies and the thin ones have sung. Later, as if the most satisfying postseason event for the faithful at the Fens since Carlton Fisk's game-winning homer in 1975 were somehow not enough, came the lyrics. Remember the sing-song chant of Darryl, Darryl in the 1986 World Series? You may remember how all that turned out. The Sox led the Yanks 2-0 in the top of the 7th in their 1978 playoff game. High above first base, my dear friend, the Red Sox fan, sat back from the edge of his seat, sighed with relief, turned to me and said what 30,000 of his brethren were thinking. Thank goodness Bucky Dent's no home run threat. The word is hubris, of Greek origin, meaning a premature or unjustified pride, usually responded to by the gods with a swift kick in the pants. Not to say this 3-game average of more than 11 runs per won't continue. Not to say the Sox won't win it in 6, and certainly not to say these prisoners of the Devil's Island of baseball don't have the right to enjoy a victory. But somewhere deep inside, every real Red Sox fan is remembering and thinking which one of these guys might be the new Bucky or Mookie or Darryl. Or maybe the man they sang at yesterday will shut them out in a Game 7. And in their dreams this winter, they and not he will be hearing that same song with an entirely different meaning. What will tonight's lyrics be? Andy Pettitte or Saber Hagen? The starters are 2 totally different characters.
They are 2 different guys, and I got to tell you that when the Yankees were first of all talking about going to trade Andy Pettitte at the trading deadline, I didn't understand that because he's been a huge big game pitcher for them. He won Game 4 of the World Series last year that clinched it for him. He also won Game 2 of the divisional series this year against the Texas Rangers. But when a left-handed pitcher does not have the confidence to go inside and go in hard on the right-handed hitters, he can get in trouble. For the Boston Red Sox, Brett Saberhagen's a guy who has to just rely on his ball sinking a little bit. He's been too strong because he hasn't pitched very much over his last 2 starts. Hasn't been able to get out of that 3rd inning. Needs to let the ball sink. He needs to use his changeup. Then he'll be okay. If he tries to overpower hitters, he gets in trouble because he just can't throw it by you anymore.
And the wild card for Saberhagen, how well does a guy pitch the same night that his wife sings the national anthem at the playoff?
We will find that out as well.
She did a funky job, and I mean that positively. Joe, Tim, and Bob are next from the booth. For Steve Lyons, I'm Keith Olbermann. We'll join you throughout with interviews and updates. In a moment, please, as Carlton Fisk throws out the first pitch, please let us take you out to the ball game.
Welcome back to Fenway Park, and now welcome to Game 4 of the 1999 American League Championship Series here on Fox. Again, it's the world champion New York Yankees taking on the homestanding Boston Red Sox. And hello, everyone, and welcome to our broadcast booth. I'm Joe Buck, along with my partners Tim McCarver and Bob Brendan. Let's get right to the starting pitching matchup for tonight's Game 4, and we start with the world champs, and they have a guy, Andy Pettitte, on the mound here tonight, who about midway through the season looked like he was going to become an ex-Yankee real quick.
During the regular season, the last time the Yankees played here at Fenway Park was right around the trading deadline in late July. Trade talks were swirling around Andy Pettitte, but Joe Torre stepped in, stood up for him, and put the kibosh on the trading of Andy Pettitte. He was 5-1 in August, and for the most part straightened himself out. Now, how did he do that? Andy Pettitte, for the first half of the season, established the fastball continuously inside. Well, when Joe Girardi started catching him the last 2 months of the season, they started establishing the fastball away to right-handed batters. And that's very important to keep in mind tonight, because that green monster in left field looms if he doesn't make good pitches to right-handers.
Well, a guy who hasn't been making many good pitches in the postseason at all is the right-hander who starts tonight for the Boston Red Sox, and Boston needs a strong, long effort tonight from Brett Saberhagen.
Yeah, Saberhagen with 2 starts in the division series, and the numbers were not pretty, but the one that really jumps out at you, 4 walks in 3 2/3 innings pitched in that division series after walking only 11 batters throughout the regular season. He said he felt too strong in the division series. Hey, if he's out of sync, it's certainly understandable. 3 stints on the disabled list. The following rehab made Saberhagen feel like he's had 4 spring trainings this year. He's going to need to have his good control against this very patient Yankees offense.
Well, the temperature has dropped here in Boston. It definitely feels like October baseball here tonight in New England. We get ready for Game 4 of the ALCS. Tonight, it's Andy Pettitte towing the slab for the world champs. He'll take on Nomar Garciaparra and the rest of the Red Sox in Game 4 next on Fox. And we welcome you back to Fenway Park right on cue. I think this is the first time in the entire postseason we come back. And here comes the home team. The Red Sox take the field. Joe Torre and Don Zimmer get ready to sit close to one another for the next 3 hours. And we get ready to bring you the Budweiser starting lineup for the Yankees. They lead it off in typical fashion with Chuck Knobloch at second base. Then Derek Jeter batting second at short. Paul O'Neill hits third in right field. Bernie Williams cleans up with Tino Martinez at first. Darryl Strawberry back as the DH. He is hitting sixth. Scott Brosius homered here yesterday for the only Yankee run. Chad Curtis gets his first start of this postseason. He's in left field, and Joe Girardi is catching and batting ninth.
And there is a different look in the outfield for the Red Sox tonight. Troy O'Leary stays in left field. Don Buford, I beg your pardon, is in. Damon Buford had it right first time. Is in center field. Darren Lewis moves from center to right. John Valentin, Nomar Garciaparra, Jose Offerman at second. Mike Stanley at first base. Jason Varitek behind the plate. And he will be catching Brett Saberhagen, 10-6 on the year.
You get a look at the numbers on Saberhagen. We talked about his 3 stints on the disabled list this year, twice for right shoulder problems, once for a laceration on the left foot. See his career numbers against the Yankees, 1-0 this season. He's a crafty veteran. He does not throw nearly as hard as he once did, but still has very good movement on that fastball. He can cut it or he can sink it. To lefties, he works outside early, comes in late. Admittedly, he says he has not gone to his changeup and breaking pitch enough lately. That gets back to what we talked about in the open. He felt too strong. He felt like he had a good fastball, but wasn't able to harness it and keep it in the strike zone.
He is not going to overpower any Yankee hitters. The only time that they will take that pitch late in the count, like you said, Bob, that fastball inside that tails back over the inside part of the plate. Familiar face.
George Steinbrenner, who is here in attendance here at Fenway Park, and it's a well-known story by now. In fact, Tim talked about it during the opening, that he was very much in favor of trading Andy Pettitte around the trading deadline, and that man who sips a nice warm cup of coffee on a cold night here in Boston said no. And you could understand it at the time. You and I, Tim, were doing a game just right at that very time when the Yankees were here in Boston. They were talking about it, and you can understand why Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre wanted no part of trading Andy Pettitte away from the Yankees. He's still only 27 years old, and he has been a pitcher who has given the Yankees nothing but innings and some postseason victories.
Joe said, we will not trade Andy. We'll have him work out his problems, and he certainly has done that. We mentioned 5-1 in August and a strong 2-2 in September.
While Brett Saberhagen talks to the home plate umpire Al Clark. Al Clark walks back. We'll tell you why he went out there. The broadcast is also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. We're glad you're with us. Al Clark went out to tell Brett Saberhagen, and then he told both benches that they are allowed to blow into their pitching hand on a cold night. Saberhagen ready to work. Knobloch ready to hit. I'll say he's ready to hit. Big swing, strike one. Al Clark behind the plate with Dale Scott at first. Tim Sheeta is at second base with Tim McClelland at third. Dan Morrison down the left field line, and Rick Reed, who worked the plate here yesterday without incident, is down the right field line. 1 ball, 1 on strike. Knobloch, Jeter, and O'Neill here in the first inning for the Yankees, who lead this series 2-1. Another big swing, strike 2. Hit through the left side, and Knobloch is on to start the night for the Yankees. Line drive out of the reach of Valentin, and the Yankees have the game's first hit.
After 2 good fastballs to get ahead, a lazy curveball. Not necessarily that it was up, but it just floated in there instead of having bite on it.
Nice try by John Valentin down there at third base. Been bothered with patellar tendonitis in his knee. Some of his lateral range has been cut down, but I don't think with 2 100% healthy knees you're going to catch that rocket.
Oh, a bullet through the left side, and now Jeter, O'Neill, and Williams will try to chase Knobloch around the bases. So this crowd got into it early, as they did here yesterday with a matchup between Pedro Martinez and Roger Clemens. Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox winning game 3 13-1, and there's a strike to Jeter.
That was a fake bunt to draw the third baseman Valentin in. No way Jeter is going to sacrifice here. If he bunts, it would be for a base hit. These two guys are the guys who are the ignition of the Yankees machine. Knobloch and Jeter together, they scored 259 runs this year.
Pitch out, and staying put is Knobloch, who, by the way, has stolen only 1 base this entire postseason, 28 during the regular year.
The base stealers against Saberhagen throughout the regular season were successful 5 times in 10 attempts. Jason Varitek behind the plate threw out 27% of the runners.
The 1-1. Strike 2 on Jeter.
Usually you can see what a pitcher did to the hitter before you. On a 1-2 count, Knobloch drilled a curveball to left field. If you're Jeter, I wouldn't be looking for curveball right here. Fastball inside. The Red Sox and all teams try to pound Jeter inside.
It was in on the hands, and Jeter fouled it away. Still 1-2. Joe Torre made the switch at DH for tonight's game and in the outfield by putting Chad Curtis in the lineup and sitting Ricky Leday. Does not like the way Leday is swinging the bat right now, so we told him to take a seat, and Curtis makes his second start of this postseason. Check on Knobloch, and not much of a look by Saberhagen. There is Lynn Saberhagen, who did a great job singing the Star-Spangled Banner before tonight's game. I'm sure Brett was sweating through that performance as much as he's sweating through this one on the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Instead, Saberhagen looks at Knobloch.
Well, it's apparent early that Boston is concerned about the Yankees running game. We've seen a pitch out already. A lot of attention being paid to Knobloch over there at first base.
That's to the right side and trying to get out of play. It will to keep it 1-2 on Jeter. Jimmy Williams and the Red Sox at no point panicking when they were down 2-0. Knew they had played 2 very competitive games at Yankee Stadium. We're not concerned coming back here, especially with young Pedro Martinez on the mound. One big here yesterday afternoon. Jeter pops this one foul. Might stay in play. Down the right field line. Offerman, nice catch. Knobloch tags and stays put, one away.
So Saberhagen continued to pound Jeter inside. An inside-out swing, and Derek could not get around on it, dragging that bat head through the strike zone. And credit Jose Offerman for staying with his pop-up. Nice play.
Offerman covered a lot of ground. He was cheating close to second base in the event Knobloch ran or a ground ball double play, and he had a long way to go to track down that foul ball.
So 1 on 1 out for Paul O'Neill. It was only 2 of 11 in this ALCS. Hitting .211 overall in the postseason after driving home 110 during the regular season. Only 1 in the postseason so far. 1 on 1 out. And ball 1.
Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams each have an RBI in this series, and each RBI was a game winner. There's Bernie. Bernie's home run in game 1. Paul's RBI single off Real Cormier in game 2.
Yeah, Paul's wasn't quite as pretty as Bernie's, but
no,
every bit as effective.
No pictures, just numbers.
Knobloch at first with 1 out. And a strike hits the inside corner from Saberhagen. Brett, a 2-time 20-game winner, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. A guy who threw a complete game shutout in Game 7 of the 1985 World Series. That Game 7 victory over the Cardinals. Check on the runner. We would like to welcome those of you who watched Carolina upset San Francisco. 49ers have lost 2 in a row. Carolina with a 2-point win. And it's a triumphant return for George Seifert back to 3 count. Here it's game 4 of the ALCS with the Yankees up 2 games to 1. Just underway. Runner at first, 1 out, the 1-1. Offerman to his left. Nice pickup, and the only play at first, 2 down. And Jose Offerman has shown good range in the 2 outs he has recorded in this first inning.
Once again going back to his left. Not playing quite as close to second base with O'Neill, a left-handed hitter at the plate. Had thoughts about wheeling and throwing to second base, but then decided to take the sure out at first. Knobloch moves into scoring position.
Number 51, the center fielder, Bernie Williams.
So O'Neill is now 2 of 12 in this series, and Bernie Williams, who, as Tim already mentioned, won game 1 with a 10th inning home run, booed as he steps in. And another strong regular season, hitting .342 on the heels of a batting title last year. He could put the Yankees on top here in the first inning with a hit. Strike 1. Saberhagen looks like he's got a little more zip on the ball than he has in his first 2 postseason starts.
He does. Late pop.
Pretty good pitch. Doesn't get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
First pitch was a 91-mile-an-hour straight fastball for a called strike. He came back with that sinking fastball, started it just off the inside corner, tried to tail it back over the plate.
Saberhagen trying to pitch around a leadoff single by Knobloch. He's at second with 2 out. And Williams up on the count, 2-1. Tino Martinez next. Either later in this first inning or leading off the second. That's up to Williams and Saberhagen.
3 straight fastballs. Bernie Williams vulnerable to the straight change right here. Saberhagen pitches backwards. Throws a lot of straight changes when he's behind in the count.
Back this way, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a 92-mile-per-hour fastball from the 35-year-old right-hander.
Went with a heater again.
It shows you that he does have a good heater. Bernie Williams with the count in his favor, unable to get around on that fastball.
This crowd at Fenway will tell you if they like this next pitch. And now Varitek is going to trot out and get together on the signs with Saberhagen, as Knobloch has had a little while down at second to at least try to get an idea as to what signs the Red Sox are using. Here we go on a 2-2. Inning over. Much better start this time out for Saberhagen. 1/2 inning, no score, game 4. Product of Deer Park, Texas. 27-year-old left-hander Andy Pettitte. He takes on this lineup. Brought to you by Budweiser. The Boston Red Sox will lead it off with Jose Offerman at second. John Valentin has been a hero this postseason for the Red Sox, as has Nomar Garciaparra hitting third tonight. Mike Stanley cleans up against the left-hander. Then is Butch Husky the DH. Troy O'Leary in left. Jason Varitek is the catcher. Darren Lewis is in right field with Damon Buford batting ninth in center.
Only one change defensively for the Yankees tonight. Chad Curtis getting the nod in left field. Second start of the postseason. Bernie Williams in center. Paul O'Neill in his usual right field position. Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez across the infield. And Joe Girardi working behind the plate for left-hander Andy Pettitte.
Joe Torre telling us before the game that against right-handed pitching, what he and Mel Stottlemyre have suggested to Andy Pettitte: aim for the middle of the plate so the ball tails over the outside part of the plate instead of aiming outside and falling behind when the ball goes away. He's got such great movement on that fastball. Take advantage of it. Aim for the middle of the plate. 14-11 on the season, 2-0 in his last 2 postseason starts, and 3-2 lifetime against the Red Sox.
The key has been working the right-handers away. As we talked about, he still has that cutter as his bread and butter pitch to jam the right-handed hitters. But he needs to start, as Tim mentioned, with the bigger part of the plate. Go for a bigger chunk of the plate, were the exact words that Joe Torre used.
How good has Jose Offerman been in this postseason for the Red Sox as he takes a ball? He's hitting only .441, and in this ALCS alone, he's hitting .500, 8 out of 16. 3 more hits yesterday in the 13-1 win here at Fenway. A 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 11th inning now, and the Braves and Mets are tied 2-2. Braves leading the series 3-1 as the Mets try to get that series back down to Georgia. We will update you on that as Offerman is in the hole 1-2.
Like that foul ball caught Al Clark, the home plate umpire, somewhere on the left wrist. Joe Girardi stalling for a little bit of time. Take another look at the foul ball off the bat of Jose Offerman. It comes up and gets Al Clark somewhere on that left forearm, left wrist area.
Umpires wearing glasses tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Missing low and away, 2-2.
That looked like a slider that Pettitte tried to just nip that outside corner with. The ball starts out off the plate. He tries to come in. If you're going to miss with that pitch, miss away, and he did.
Offerman is gone to start the night offensively for the Red Sox. A strikeout, and that'll bring in Valentin.
Came back with another backdoor breaking ball. You see Joe Girardi set up on the outside corner. Tough pitch to hit, tough pitch to take right there. Very close. Offerman has to protect the plate with 2 strikes. You can see that slider rotation. Right on the outside corner.
And now Pettit will deal with Valentin, who hit a 2-run home run in the first inning yesterday against Roger Clemens. Had 5 RBIs in Game 3. 2 RBIs in Game 5 against Cleveland. 7 RBIs in Game 4 against the Indians. And 2 home runs in that pivotal Game 3 of the division series. We're into the top of the 12th inning. Braves and Mets 2-2. So that game breathes on. Game 5 of that NLCS. This is Game 4 here in the 1-0 pitch to Valentin. 2-0.
See, those first 2 pitches by Andy Pettit, that's what he was doing the first part of the season. I would imagine Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre starting to talk about that. Aiming for the outside corner and the ball tailing off the plate. He's missed twice to Valentin.
Chorus of Andy rains down on Pettit. The 2-0 pitch. Valentin flies one into right. And O'Neill squeezes it for out number 2. This crowd must do voice exercises before they get to Fenway Park. Yesterday was Roger. And where is Roger? And already they're singing Andy as Nomar stands in.
When Derek Jeter came to the plate in the top of the first inning, they started chanting Nomar's better. They're very well synchronized. They've done their practice.
Now chanting MVP as he waits with 2 out, nobody on, and takes the ball. Seven out of 13 in this ALCS is Garciaparra. Homered yesterday, a 2-run shot. 2-0.
This is a good park in which to practice your chant, since Symphony Hall and the Boston Pops is less than a mile away from Fenway.
Fans here getting ready to reprise their famous original composition, Darryl, Darryl, from 1986. That'll happen in the top of the second. Former Met will bat second for the Yankees behind Martinez in front of Brocious. 2 balls and a strike. No score, bottom of the first inning in Boston. And Pettit awfully careful with Garciaparra.
Now, Garciaparra is one right-handed hitter in this Red Sox lineup that Pettit has to be extremely careful with that cut fastball. So far, he stayed away with the sinking fastball and the breaking ball. Does not want to challenge Garciaparra on the inside part of the plate.
The 3-1. Full count.
If you can get Nomar Garciaparra to take that kind of a cut on a 3-1 count, you've done your job as a pitcher. I mean, this is a defensive swing that you would more likely see from a batter with a 2-strike count rather than a 3-1 count.
Now it's 3-2. Same swing, same result.
It's a typical Garciaparra at bat. He does not swing through too many pitches. He only struck out 51 times. I beg your pardon, 39 times this year. Walked 51 times. Only 90 times did he not put the ball in play in over 600 plate appearances.
Another foul. So you can usually count on contact with a guy like Garciaparra.
And with 2 strikes, Joe, you can work him out of the strike zone and expect him to swing at it. He does not like to walk.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on here in the first inning. And a pop-up toward the second base bag for Noble. And the Red Sox go in order in the first. After 1 in Game 4, Pettit and Saberhagen. Yankees, Red Sox, no score.
Batting fifth for New York, number 24, the first baseman.
We welcome you back to Fenway Park, one of America's most enduring corporate images. The Goodyear blimp is floating overhead, providing aerial views for tonight's game. The Spirit of Akron, one of 7 airships in the Goodyear blimp fleet. Goodyear now has 2 blimps in Europe, 1 in South America, 1 in Australia, 3 here in the U.S. Here's Tino Martinez to lead off against Brent Saberhagen. Second inning, no score, and there's a strike on a changeup over the outside corner. Not much in the postseason for Tino Martinez, who historically has struggled in LCS play. He has hit 1 home run. And he's in the hole here 0-2.
Saberhagen with back-to-back changeups to the left-handed hitting first baseman. Pedro Martinez gave him a steady diet of changeups in the ball game yesterday.
Saberhagen struck out Williams with the runner at second and 2 out to end the top of the first inning. And now the 0-2 drives Tino off the plate. Bottom of the 12th inning. Braves and the Mets still 2-2.
Mike Rimlinger and Steve Rogers. Kenny Rogers. Steve Rogers probably watching this game from Tulsa. It's amazing how they resemble one another.
Here's a pitch outside. 2-2.
Former Montreal star who only retired 15 years ago.
And one's right-handed and the other's left-handed.
But other than that, they're a lot alike.
Yeah, they're very similar. Strawberry and Brocious will follow in the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch to Tino Martinez. Popped up. Nomar hardly has to move. 1 away.
Good example that time of Saberhagen using his changeup to set up his fastball. Back-to-back changeups to start the sequence, and he pushed him off the plate with a fastball up and in. Gets him out with a fastball over the inside part of the plate. Tino pops it up on the infield.
Now Strawberry takes a strike. Mentioned Strawberry, who worked for the Mets back in 1986 when they played Boston in the World Series. Hit only .208 during the '86 Fall Classic as he leans back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Do not throw Darryl Strawberry in that area right there. He can golf that pitch as far as anybody in the game. Great power the other way, particularly here at Fenway.
Two balls and a strike from Saberhagen.
Good looking change up there from Brent Saberhagen. Not sure exactly where that missed.
The next to Strawberry is a strike over the inside corner. From an 80-mile-per-hour changeup to a 91-mile-per-hour fastball.
There's a big difference in that ball down and away and one on the belt, right at the hands. That's where you can jam low ball hitters.
Hard hit down the right field line, curling into the corner. It's gone. Off the foul pole, and Darryl Strawberry goes deep to put the Yankees out in front here in the second.
I
bet if you ask Brett Saberhagen right now if that's the pitch he wanted in that location, he'd say yes. Right on the hands. But did Strawberry ever get the bat head out? Just a question of whether it was going to be fair or foul, hitting the foul pole.
And now with one out, nobody on, Brocious takes a strike.
Now, generally, when a left-handed hitter gets that far out in front of a pitch, they hook it foul down the right field line. But that ball held its line all the way down there and hit very near the top of that foul pole.
One out with the bases empty and Brocious out in front. Strike two. So Strawberry, who now has 7 LCS home runs, goes deep to put the Yankees out in front. Nothing in 2 on Brocious. And a comebacker to Saberhagen. Nice play to his right. 2 out. Brocious is gone, and that'll bring in the number 8 hitter, Chad Curtis. We already talked about it, but Chad Curtis was tapped on the shoulder to start in tonight's game because Joe Torre just doesn't like the way Ricky Leday is approaching his at-bats. And Leday, who missed a ball up against that green monster in left yesterday, is challenged by left field here at Fenway, so it's Curtis tonight. He takes a ball. Crowd silencer from Strawberry. A second inning Yankee lead. 1 ball, 1 strike on Curtis. To third and foul. Good effort by Valentin, but out of his reach. On the wrong side of the line for the Yankees. Now it's 1-2 on Curtis.
Saberhagen doing a nice job of changing speeds on his curveball. You see that ball starts fair, but bounces foul just past the bag. John Valentin taking no chances with a diving effort there.
To the second baseman, Offerman to his right. And the Yankees are finished in the second. But one very loud run for New York. On the contact at the plate. And on the contact on the foul pole. And after an inning and a half in game 4, 1-0 New York. They are packed to the rafters here at Fenway Park. Young and old waiting to see if the Red Sox can win 2 in a row. They won yesterday 13-1. They trailed here 1-0 bottom of the second, and Mike Stanley will lead off with Butch Husky, the DH, tonight, and then Troy O'Leary to follow. Andy Pettit back to work. Had a perfect first inning. Struck out Offerman. Valentin flied out. Garciaparra popped up. And a ball to Stanley.
Mike Stanley caught Andy Pettit his rookie season back in 1995. Stanley with the Yankees in 95 and 97. Played in the divisional series. This is his first league championship series.
Hard hit to the left side and a backhanded stab by Jeter. One away. Good play. The first 4 Red Sox have been retired in order. That'll bring in Butch Husky. Husky had a big chance for the Red Sox in game 2 in that long 8th inning. When he hit with the bases loaded 1 out against Mendoza. And Mendoza struck him out, then Offerman flied to center, and that was it for that rally. And after getting 2 hits in the 9th inning, the Red Sox fell a run short. 1 out, nobody on for Husky. Strike 1. Former Mets all over the place, while the Mets and the Atlanta Braves battle in the 12th inning at Shea Stadium. Husky one of them as he leans back from ball one. Strawberry, an ex-Met. Homers against Saberhagen, an ex-Met.
You're right, there are ex-Mets all over the place.
Says the former voice of the New York Mets. The 1-1. Strike two on Husky.
Butch Husky is not a good two-strike hitter. I think more than any other hitter on either club, he has a tendency to go after bad balls with 2 strikes.
Pettit in a trance works it to the plate on 1 and 2. Husky was jammed, but able to at least get a piece.
There's that cut fastball in on the hands of a right-handed hitter when he's in a defensive position up at the plate, thinking about protecting that outside corner. He sees the fastball, starts his swing, and that ball just comes in there to eat. Just to pull his hands in close to his body just to get the bat on it.
There's one Tim's never heard, I can tell. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Husky. All Husky used to do was eat.
That's the Fog Diner in there, right?
Yeah.
Bobby?
Butch Husky, who had a serious weight problem while coming up with the Mets, finally shed a lot of the extra weight and made himself a good right-handed power threat. Started this season in Seattle, came to the Red Sox. Jimmy Williams' lineup tonight is the number 5 hitter. And that's into the left field corner. We'll see how far Husky can go as Curtis digs it out, and Husky will end up at second base with 1 away. Well, Day struggled in left field yesterday for the Yankees, and Curtis did not play that well down in the left field corner off the Green Monster.
Husky once again jammed a little bit with that cut fastball inside, but manages to get the fatter part of the bat on the ball this time. Husky was going for 2 all the way, and Curtis right there, you can see that ball hit a rock or something and bounced over his bare hand.
Butch nursing that sore left knee and limps into second base.
And that would tell you it would take a well-placed hit from Troy O'Leary to tie this game. 1-0 Yankees in the second. A strike from Pettit. Might surprise even the most avid baseball fan to know that Pettit has won 69 games over the last 4 seasons. Only Pedro Martinez with 72 wins and Greg Maddux with 71 have more. The 0-1. Broken bat flare into shallow center. That's a base hit. They will bring Husky to the plate. Williams makes the throw. It's a tie game. 1-1 here in the second on a base hit by O'Leary.
Troy O'Leary, a .346 hitter against left-handed pitching this year. And this is the type of hit that it would have taken to score Butch Husky. It was not hit hard enough, but look at Andy Pettit. Andy Pettit should be behind Joe Girardi and not in front of him as Husky limps home for the first Red Sox run.
With that pitcher standing in front of home plate like that causes more bad throws and misplays at home plate than any other thing. Many times the pitcher won't catch the ball. He'll get a piece of it and deflect it past the catcher, at which point there's nobody behind the play.
And now Varitek, the switch hitting catcher, takes a ball from Pettit.
Andy Pettit has one place to go after the hit. That's behind Joe Girardi. He's in front of Joe Girardi. And as you said, Bob, a lot of bad things can happen. Ball caroming off the heel of the glove. Fortunately, Pettit made the play. Fortunately for the Yankees, that is.
Breaking ball is low, and it's 2-0 on Varitek. How comforting a feeling it must have been for Butch Husky to finally get close enough to dive. He didn't want to take one more step. As he limped around third, Pedro clapping the entire time. Wendell Kim, and you've made mention of it, Bob, is a very aggressive third base coach with one out. Certainly could have held him at third the way he's running, but because it was only a flare into center, they took the chance that Williams couldn't get it to the plate in time, and he couldn't. Now it's 2-0 on Varitek. Wide strike, and Varitek spins out of there.
Well, you certainly appreciate the effort of Butch Husky hobbling around on that bad knee. A lot of players playing it way less than 100% at this time of year, but the effort is still there.
The way he's running, I looked at you, Tim. You were kind of galloping with him over there, and I was bobbing my head up and down like I was trying to score. 2 balls and a strike on Varitek. Low, 3-1. Darren Lewis waits to hit next. Go ahead, run it first with only 1 out in the second. Hard hit right at Knobloch. 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. Knobloch took care of the hard part, fielding that smash up the middle. After that, it was routine. Red Sox tie it after 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. Brett Saberhagen back to the hill. The number 9 hitter Joe Girardi will lead off. How about that for Saberhagen? That's a good sign, and more typical of Saberhagen as opposed to his first 2 starts in this postseason. And another first pitch strike. In fact, it's grounded to third. Valentin, the easy pickup, 1 away.
That double play to end the second inning was interesting. Watch Troy O'Leary get down way before Derek Jeter throws. The reason for that is that arm angle right there. Troy O'Leary does not want to get hit in the coconut. That's what shortstops will do. They'll drop down and make that runner get down prematurely so he doesn't have a chance to take him out.
It's one of the ways shortstops can protect themselves on that double play pivot. Second baseman more often use the bag. Shortstops use that drop down delivery.
Knobloch now with 1 out, nobody on. And a ball from Saberhagen. Chuck a single leading off. A line drive through the left side, his first time up. Now 3 of 10 in this ALCS. Happy to not be facing that guy. 1 ball, 1 strike. What an important game tonight for the Red Sox. Hey, outside of the obvious, not only are you trailing 2-1, but you have Kent Mercker going in what would be game 5 tomorrow night, and he is cemented as the starter. He'll be taking on El Duque as Knobloch pops it up, shallow left center. Garciaparra gives way to O'Leary, 2 out. And if you can get past tomorrow night, if you're the Red Sox, there's the matchup for tomorrow night. El Duque against Kent Mercker. Rematch of game 1 of this ALCS. Mercker at least left with the Red Sox leading after 4 innings. Didn't get a decision. Rod Beck did, giving up the game-winning home run to Bernie Williams. But then you can get into game 6 and 7, and if you're the Red Sox, you like the way Ramon Martinez is pitching. And the other guy, the game 7 starter, is a rematch of your best in Pedro Martinez against your former best in Roger Clemens. A 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen, his first of the night. And we are through 2.5 here in game 4. Tied at 1.
Buster Olney, the Yankee beat writer for the New York Times, told me about 5 minutes before game time tonight a remarkable statistic about Pedro Martinez and the New York Yankees. In the last 2.5 games, remember the 17 strikeout game, this dates back to the middle of May. From the 5th inning on, last 2.5 games, Pedro Martinez has faced 61 Yankees. They have 5 hits, and he has struck out 35. about 60%.
See what he's doing in the postseason in this Red Sox team for obvious reasons. Seems to get energy off Pedro Martinez. As they just exploded yesterday, the offense starts and it just doesn't seem to want to stop. Now tonight, after the Yankees scored first in the second, the Red Sox have come back to tie it. Now bat in the bottom of the third inning with Lewis, Buford, and Offerman, the scheduled hitters. To the right of Knobloch, backhanded stab, great throw, great play. For a guy who made 26 errors during the regular season and who has made 2 in the postseason, he just took a hit away from Darren Lewis.
Well, it's just an instinctive play that time from Knobloch. He didn't really have time to think about the throw. Made an amazing play just to get to that backhanded stab. Throws on the jump across his body back to Martinez at first base. Yeah, generally when guys have throwing problems, those are the plays that they make. The routine plays are the ones that become difficult when they have time to think about that throw.
Damon Buford takes ball 1. Damon was at the plate with 2 runners on, with his Red Sox trailing by a run in game 2 in the 9th inning when Rivera struck him out. Taken over as a pinch runner for Mike Stanley. So Buford made the final out in game 2, and he is 1 ball 1 strike here with 1 out, nobody on in the 3rd inning. That is Saberhagen starting well here in game 4. Saberhagen has already gone deeper into the ball game than he had in either of his 2 previous postseason starts. That's up the middle and a base hit. Buford is on with 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
I'll tell you, Joe, really makes me feel old to see Damon Buford getting a base hit in an ALCS game. He was the bat boy for the San Francisco Giants back in the early 80s when his father, Don Buford, was a coach on Frank Robinson's staff. Damon told me earlier this season he distinctly remembers jump roping over some of my helmet tosses and broken bats and catcher's equipment that got flung around the dugout.
He told me before the game he thinks you're old.
Oh, did he really?
Yep.
Okay.
1 on, 1 out, and the batter is Jose Offerman, who struck out his first time, and watch out.
Andy Pettitte, more than any other pitcher in baseball, can neutralize the running game. Of course, on the other hand, the Red Sox really don't have a running game unless it's a hit and run play. 67 stolen bases as a team, the lowest in the American League.
Buford had 9 of them. See, he is not too sure of himself. Is a little hesitant getting back on the throw over by Pettitte.
It is very, very close to a balk move. If that right leg goes behind the left leg, it's a balk move. But Andy has perfected it to such a degree that it's right on the borderline.
Runner goes, got a great break. Throw down by Girardi, not close. Jimmy Williams told us before the game that if you run and you are successful against Andy Pettitte, it just simply comes from guessing right. And Damon Buford just guessed right.
And Jose Offerman shows bunt to try to keep Joe Girardi back behind the plate, but they were not going to get Damon Buford even on a perfect throw. A tremendous jump. You can see he just guessed right. Went on first movement. Pettitte was throwing to the plate. That's a stolen base for Damon Buford.
And he may not stop there with 1 out. A good time to try to steal 3rd.
Knobloch creeps in from his second base position as Offerman grounds it up the middle, base hit. Here comes Buford. No throw by Williams. It's 2-1 Boston.
Curveball that Jose Offerman really stayed with. Outside part of the plate. Hits it well enough to get it by the diving Knobloch. Jose Offerman continues to stay sizzling during postseason.
See, Knobloch had jockeyed the runner back, was moving to his left when that ball was hit back to his right. He lost his footing, trying to go for the backhanded play.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. You know, you talk about the Red Sox, the first guy you think of offensively is Garciaparra, and then you think of the heroics by Valentin in the postseason. But nobody's meant more to this team leading off than Offerman with the job he's doing getting on base. And now Valentin into left field, bounces one off the wall. Offerman will round third and come to the plate. Relay from Jeter. Play at the plate. Out at the plate to keep it a 2-1 game.
Several times in this series, we have noticed that catchers have been wearing their masks and attempting tags at the plate. Watch the relay. First, Bernie Williams backs up Chad Curtis, and a perfect throw from Derek Jeter to get Joe Girardi. Girardi making the tag. Offerman tried to come inside and tag home plate with his hand, but Girardi tagged him first. Well executed by Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter, and a nice tag by Girardi.
Now Garciaparra with a runner at second. That's Valentin, who is credited with a double. Strike one on Nomar. 3 consecutive hits. 1 run is in. 1 man out at the plate for Boston. Cut down 8-6-2 was Jose Offerman. Williams to Jeter to Girardi. We haven't seen Curtis play that Green Monster very well here in the early innings.
Very heads-up play by Bernie Williams, however, realizing that Curtis had gotten himself too close to the Green Monster. Bernie Williams came over from center and played the carom quickly back into Jeter. A perfect relay home.
The 1-1 to Garciaparra is inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Bob bringing up Wendell Kim, the third base coach, once again. Very aggressive. But on that play, I think you have to make the defense throw you out. And the Yankees did everything perfectly to get Jose Offerman.
Even with Garciaparra coming up.
I think so. You're going to walk Garciaparra anyway. You have bases loaded and Stanley up.
Might walk Garciaparra here anyway. 3 balls and a strike, at least being extremely careful. Nomar popped up his first time, and he could add to the Red Sox 3rd inning lead. And it is up to Stanley. First walk handed out by Pettit.
Was the end of that play at the plate. Wendell Kim waving the runner on home. There's the perfect relay from Jeter. Looked like Offerman was going to try to slide around Joe Girardi to the foul side. The throw took Girardi right in line with Offerman. He tries to abort his slide and reach around with the hand, but Girardi was there to keep him off the plate.
What's going on in the Mets game? Top of the 14th inning. The Braves and the Mets tied at 2. 2 on with 2 out here in Boston, and a 2-1 Red Sox lead, 3rd inning. And now Mike Stanley grounded out his first time. Ball 1. Big numbers for Stanley in this postseason. Two on with 2 out, 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0. That from the Dr. Evil collection. Valentin, the runner at second. Garciaparra on at first. Andy Pettit behind on the count to Stanley. 2-0. That caught the inside corner. Husky would be next. 3 hits, a walk in the inning, but only 1 run scoring for Boston. Yankees defense took a run away with a play at the plate. 2-2.
Pitch up over the plate a little bit for Mike Stanley, about belt high out over the plate, just swings right through it.
That's a real mistake right there. You can see Joe Girardi sitting inside and moving that glove to the right about 9 inches. Hitters don't hit every mistake, contrary to popular belief.
Two on, 2 out, and the 2-2 pitch. Inning over. And limited damage thanks to the defense of the New York Yankees and the pitching of Andy Pettitte. This relay play to the plate cut down a run. Red Sox get one, lead by 1 after 3. From 1953 to 1965, the voice of the Red Sox here in Boston, Curt Gowdy, and longtime voice of the NBC Game of the Week, and an outdoorsman. And here is a fan tonight, Curt Gowdy, joining us at the ballpark. And Paul O'Neill joining Al Clark and Jason Varitek at the plate to lead it off in the 4th inning with the Red Sox up 2-1.
The Cowboy looking resplendent in that cowboy cap.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Paul O'Neill now, who bounced out to second his first time up. Saberhagen hits the outside corner. What do you think of Brett Saberhagen so far? So far, so good, right?
His control has been outstanding. A lot of first pitch strikes to the Yankees hitters, and when he's gotten to 2 strikes, he's been able to put them away in this ball game, unlike his first 2 starts in the division series.
That action against Cleveland. That's a flare foul that will get out of play.
Pitching with a lot more confidence tonight, and he's in the strike zone. During the regular season, he only walked 1 his last 6 starts. And incredibly, as Bob said earlier, walking 4 in a little over 5 innings in his 2 starts in the divisional series. Zeroed in tonight, though.
O'Neill hitting with 2 strikes here in the 4th inning, leading off. Ball 1.
And if you just watch the way Jason Varitek is moving behind the plate today, giving targets, and Saberhagen more often than not is either hitting the target or missing in his favor. Very rarely leaving anything over the heart of the plate up to this point.
Looking up at Paul O'Neill, making sure that Paul's not looking back at the signs.
1 away, and strikeout number 2 for Saberhagen as O'Neill heads back to the dugout.
That's why catchers will set up late. O'Neill has to concentrate on the coming pitch. Going after a bad ball. Ball about eye high to O'Neill.
One away, and O'Neill continues to struggle, now 2 out of 13 in this ALCS. And Bernie Williams digs in. He struck out his first time. Change up from Saberhagen.
Hey, that's just smart pitching right there. I mean, 5 straight fastballs the first time up. He got Bernie on a fly ball to center. And now a changeup on the first pitch. Second time up.
O'Neill is now 2 out of 13. Williams is just 2 out of 12. A breaking ball. Saberhagen thought he had strike 2. Instead, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Combine that with the struggles of Tino Martinez, who's 2 for 12. The heart of the Yankee lineup isn't doing much of anything in this ALCS, but as Tim mentioned, 1 key hit for O'Neill. The heels of 1 key hit in game 1 for this guy, Bernie Williams, as he fouls it out of play. He's set up at 1-2. She'll be holding up a different sign a little later, I guess. They do still believe, and why not? After coming back to defeat the heavily favored Indians, Williams grounds one foul outside first. Fell into a 2-0 hole here in this ALCS and won big yesterday.
You guys all that shit.
There's the ball monitor over on the Red Sox bench.
Bernie Williams trying to get something started for the Yankees in the 4th inning, and he wants more time. Not bad for the switch hitter for the Yankees. Career against Saberhagen. Garciaparra in the hole. A backhanded pickup and throw into the dugout, and Williams will end up at second base. So an error by Garciaparra. That's his 4th of the postseason. And it puts the tying run in scoring position here in the 4th inning.
When nobody throws that ball off balance any harder than Nomar Garciaparra. It's a lot on that throw. Unfortunately, handcuffs his first baseman right over the head of Mike Stanley.
Number 24, first baseman.
That ball just took off like a cut fastball.
Yeah, the strength was there, but the windage wasn't.
So it's a base hit and an E6. Williams' 3rd hit of this series, and now he's in scoring position with only 1 out for Tino Martinez. There's a chance for the heart of the order to do something for the Yankees in the 4th inning. Ball 1. Up. This is in the dirt. 2-0. Boston leading 2-1 4th inning. Runner at second with 1 out for the Yankees. Ball 3. 3-0 from Saberhagen.
Remember, twice in this series, Tino Martinez has swung at 3-0 pitches. Tino, one of the guys that Joe Torre trusts to choose and select his pitch.
Fastball taken for strike 1.
The player has to earn that right. You give the guy that hit 3-0 early in the season, he chases a bad pitch or a pitcher's pitch, gets himself out. Suddenly you do not get the green light 3-0.
3 balls, 1 strike on Tino Martinez. Now full count. Big rip. Big swing by Martinez, and it stays full.
And that was his pitch. The reason that Martinez took the 3-0 and 3-1 pitch, true, they were fastballs, but they were fastballs out over the plate on the corner. Saberhagen given in there. Martinez missed it.
Well hit into deep right center field. Back at the track at the wall, off the top of the wall. It's an RBI double, and it's a 2-2 game here in the 4th inning. A rocket off the bat.
So he takes the 3-0 pitch and the 3-1 pitch, fouls back the first 3-2 pitch, and then the changeup from Saberhagen. A pretty good pitch. You might ask, how can a pretty good pitch go that far? Good hitting by Martinez.
After the RBI double, Darryl Strawberry, who homered his first time up, has a chance to put the Yankees back on top. Back to his at bat in the second inning with 1 out, nobody on. This more than halfway up the foul pole and a 1-0 New York lead.
I think Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, is out there to talk to Bret Saberhagen and give him the choice. Do you want to walk Darryl Strawberry? You have a right-hander and Scott Brosius on deck. Or do you want to pitch him out of the strike zone and unintentionally walk him?
And I think with Saberhagen's control in this ball game tonight up to this point, they'll probably give him the option of pitching around Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
If you have a pitcher on the mound who's struggling with his control and not hitting his spots, that's a very dangerous thing to ask him to pitch around a hitter.
Why do you worry about Darryl Strawberry? He's creeping up on Garvey and Brett. Career LCS home runs. He hit his 7th in the second inning. Ball 2-0.
Trying to get Strawberry to go after something out of the strike zone, preferably up and out of the strike zone.
Strawberry patient, the count 3-0.
Might as well go ahead and walk him right now. Darryl is not biting.
Bingo. The intentional pass will put 2 on with only 1 out and bring up Scott Brosius. Trouble started for the Red Sox on the hit by Williams that was in the hole, and Garciaparra's throw sailed into the dugout.
Number 18.
Then on a 3-2 pitch, Tino Martinez doubled into right center field. Now to walk to Darryl Strawberry in a 2-2 game. Scott Brosius with a key 4th inning at bat for the Yankees. Martinez and Strawberry, the base runners. Brosius 0 for 1 at the plate. That's a foul ball. Strike 1. Brosius drove in the only run in yesterday's game with that home run that came in the 8th inning. Had a big start to this LCS in game 1. There's 3 out of 4 with a homer, a triple, a single, a couple of runs scored. 0-2 from Saberhagen.
Varitek sits off the plate away. The pitch was right in his mitt. Front corner, perhaps.
The 0-2. A little farther away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chad Curtis will follow Brosius. Tie game, 4th inning, game 4. And Varitek wants to talk again.
The last time Varitek went to the mound to talk to Saberhagen with the runner at second base, he went back behind the plate and did not even put down a sign. He went out verbally. They talked over the sequence of pitches that they were going to use on the hitter. And Varitek went back behind the plate, did not even put down a finger. Saberhagen delivered the pitch.
Yeah, I think they're talking about pitch selection and not changing the signs. If you change the signs without the middle infielders knowing it, then they get the wrong read. And here it is again. You're right, Bob. No sign.
The count still 1-2 on Brosius.
Well, that's one way to keep that runner at second base from stealing a sign. Don't give one.
Yeah, but the one thing you do when you do that is you don't alert the middle infielders, and that can be a problem. They have to know what the sequence is that the catcher's giving.
The 1-2 to Brosius. Scott is hanging tough. Saberhagen working tonight. with a full and well-rested bullpen behind him. Pedro Martinez giving 7 strong innings yesterday, and the Red Sox using only Gordon and Rapp out of their bullpen. Two out.
Sometimes if you have a questionable call early in the count on the outside part of the plate, the catcher and pitcher takes advantage of it. With 2 strikes, Varitek sits outside about 6 inches, and Brocious fouls it into Jason's mitt.
Pitch clearly off the plate there, but Brocious with 2 strikes cannot afford the luxury of laying off that pitch that was so close to the outside corner.
And now with 2 on, 2 out, it's up to Chad Curtis, who rips it foul. No doubt they pitched carefully and then eventually around Strawberry to get Brocious to the plate. Brocious struck out. Now Curtis, who bounced out to second his first time, looking for his first hit of the postseason. A 2-2 game in the 4th. Chad Curtis trying to change that. Inside corner, strike 2.
That pitch there is going to open up that outside corner right now. The fastball inside.
The 0-2 to the right side. Tough play. Good play by Stanley, and dropped and kicked. To the plate is Martinez, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. Saberhagen could not handle the throw from Stanley, and to compound the trouble, he then kicked it away. And when Tino Martinez and Willie Randolph saw that, to the plate came Martinez, and the Yankees lead by 1.
A tough play for Saberhagen to handle. That throw was a little bit low as he was on the move over there toward first base. Does get a glove on it, and as you mentioned, Joe, then kicks it with his left foot into foul territory. And that's all the opening Tino Martinez needed to go ahead and attempt to score, and he does.
They give an error to the pitcher Saberhagen on the play. And the strike is into Joe Girardi. No RBI. The first baseman gets an assist. But all of that just scoring questions. It's a 3-2 Yankee lead. That's the most important part. Jose Cardinal helping to send Tino Martinez home from third from over at first base.
Tino Martinez was resigned to stop at third base. And that ball just stayed at the feet of Brett Saberhagen. No damage done. Bases loaded and 2 outs. But once he kicked it, Martinez alertly ran home with the go-ahead run.
And now the 0-2 to Girardi.
Tino Martinez goes to third. Now watch him stop. He didn't make that wide turn and decide to come home until the ball was kicked into foul territory.
Girardi strikes out and the inning's over. But not before the Yankees come up with 2 runs. 2 errors in the inning for the Red Sox. Bernie Williams hustling for the hit. The throwing error by Garciaparra. The RBI double from Tino Martinez, who would later score on another error. Yankees up by 1. We get to the bottom of the fourth inning, a 3-2 Yankee lead now. For the past 75 years, millions have watched the Goodyear blimps hover over special events. Above, it's the Spirit of Akron carrying on that proud Goodyear tradition. You can find out more about the Goodyear blimp fleet on the internet at www.goodyear.com.
A lot of times, if you think the runner at second base is giving location to the hitter, there is a way to fool him. You set up on one side of the plate, and then as the pitch is on its way, you go the other way. Watch Veritek on the ball hit by Curtis. Sets up outside, moves inside as the hit's on its way. What do you know? The pitch is where he set up the first time.
That started trouble as the error was committed by Saberhagen on the play at first, and the go-ahead run scored for New York. Butch Husky takes strike one. Husky, O'Leary, and Veritek, 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Boston. 2 unearned runs. The Yankees are up by 1 in the fourth inning. Little flare into right, easy for O'Neill. Leadoff man is gone for the Red Sox here in the fourth inning.
Number 25, the left fielder.
Here's O'Leary.
O'Leary.
O'Leary has an RBI single on a blooper into center. This is his 8th RBI of this postseason. Previous 7 all coming in Game 5 of the division series as strike one is in from Andy Pettitte. Couldn't check his swing, and now an 0-2 count.
Once again, all that foot movement by Troy O'Leary. And then striding too far and couldn't hold up.
Very busy with his feet in that batter's box. We saw him creep up on the plate and up toward the pitcher against the Rocket yesterday.
Moving around again as he takes a ball low and away. O'Leary is gone, and that's strikeout number 3 for Andy Pettitte. 2 up, 2 down here in the fourth inning.
Big out there for Pettitte with the single back in the second inning by O'Leary. He's now 5 for 8 this season against Andy Pettitte, now making 5 for 9 with this strikeout.
The hitter that comes to mind, he was a left-handed hitter, Hal Morris, who used to be with the Cincinnati Reds, eventually with Kansas City. Had those mobile feet. There are very few hitters who hit successfully like that.
And the guy that used to use it all the time to his advantage, Keith Hernandez. Another Mets connection there. Keith Hernandez used to creep up on the plate in certain counts, creep away from the plate in other counts. Trying to guess along with that pitcher and catcher inside and outside.
Veritek takes the ball, bounced into an inning-ending double play back in the second. Yankees lead here by a run, fourth inning. Two and 0. It's Red Sox offense, which here at home in the playoffs, 3 games coming in, hitting .448 with 9 home runs and 45 runs, 15 a game on average. For the most part, shut down here early by Andy Pettitte. 2-0 to Veritek. 2-1.
Apparently some kind of a cross up there. The reaction of Joe Girardi, he was not expecting the pitch that Andy Pettitte threw. Watch Joe Girardi behind the plate. Turns away from that ball. He was expecting something else. And goes out to the mound to have a word with Pettitte before the next pitch will be delivered.
Usually you do not see a cross-up with nobody on base. Normally, at least there would be a man on at second base.
The 2-1 from Pettitte. Popped in the air to right, slicing to O'Neill. And the Red Sox go in order for the second time tonight. We're through 4 innings in Game 4, and the Yankees on 2 unearned runs in the 4th inning lead by 1. 5th inning now of Game 4, a 3-2 Yankee lead. And top of the order for New York will bat Knobloch, Jeter, and O'Neill.
Here once again that pitch that appeared to cross Joe Girardi up behind the plate. See the way he reacts right there. He was expecting that pitch to do something else. He looks out quickly to Andy Pettitte on the mound. And then words exchanged in the dugout. Mel Stottlemyre, Andy Pettitte, Joe Girardi. And hopefully for the Yankees they got that squared away as Jimmy Leyritz has a good laugh about it. Joe Torre comes in. Said, listen, one's a fastball, two's a curve. Okay, you got it.
Knobloch leads off and fouls away strike 1. A hit his first time up. He flying to left in the 3rd inning. Not much in the postseason for the Yankee leadoff hitter. Jam shot into left field, and Garciaparra out to get it. 1 away. With that short left field here at Fenway Park, and O'Leary, who plays a good left field here at home. Garciaparra, with the way he can go out and get pop flies like this one, there's not much that's going to drop between the left fielder and the shortstop.
If it has any hang time at all, they're going to catch it.
Knobloch 1 for 3, and Jeter will stand in. Jeter, who is fouled out, flying to center. Trying to figure out Saberhagen for the first time tonight. Takes a ball. You see such a serious and stark contrast between the 2 managers in this American League Championship Series. Jimmy Williams, who's very hands-on, will spend so much time before the game hitting ground balls to Garciaparra, among others. By the time most coaches become managers, they bring a fungo out with them, but rarely do they use it, hitting ground balls to fielders before the game. But that's where Jimmy Williams comes from. That's his love, teaching players how to play the game the right way. And he works long and hard with Garciaparra before every game. They have their quote-unquote checkpoints to make sure that Nomar's ready, and I would say it's working. Joe Torre, very open, very media savvy. Jimmy Williams is one who will give you a straight answer but won't reveal much. Both very effective. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Jeter. Two out. And Jeter has words for Al Clark as he heads back to the dugout.
Now, Jeter has been made so conscious of that inside pitch against Saberhagen that sometimes you lose sight of that outside pitch. That ball's a strike. Tail back over the corner, right above the knees. Perfect pitch by Saberhagen.
And you can see by that approach from Derek Jeter, he was completely caught by surprise. He was protecting inside. The pitch was outside.
And now with 2 out, nobody on, Paul O'Neill, the number 3 hitter in this Yankee lineup, 0 for 2. Creeps up on the plate, swings and misses. Steve Horn, who's our editorial consultant, and I were in Joe Torre's office after you guys left. And Steve had one more question about that very approach to hitting. Joe Torre talking about you can look away and still get a hit on a pitch inside, but if you're conscious inside and you're worrying about that inside pitch, you can't hit the outside delivery. Jeter was just called out on strikes as O'Neill looks at ball 1.
Joe Torre, an MVP in 1971. He led the National League in hitting with 230 hits, 363 average. Joe's theory with 2 strikes: never be called out on an outside pitch.
Base is empty with 2 out, and O'Neill right back up the middle. No chance for Saberhagen to knock that one down, and O'Neill has his first hit of the night. That's as hard a hit ball as we've seen Paul O'Neill have in this ALCS.
Number 51, the center fielder, Bernie Williams.
Here's Williams, who is 1 for 2. That MVP year for Joe Torre was amazing because he had no leg hits. I mean, he didn't beat anything out.
None.
He watches as Williams waits and takes a strike.
Yeah, once again, Saberhagen making a Yankee hitter aware inside with that first pitch fastball. You see Williams raise his hands. He thinks that ball's too far inside, but the tailing action brings it back over the inside corner. And now Bernie Williams is aware of the fastball inside.
Saberhagen is not a guy who necessarily keeps the ball down all the time, but he works east to west. Inside corner to left-handers, outside corners to left-handers. Same to right-handers. With an occasional dewdrop in and a changeup.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jammed and a pop-up into right. Easy for Lewis to his right. The Yankees are finished in the top of the 5th inning. Halfway through game 4. Saberhagen pitching well. Yankees lead by 1. Well, it's been a well-pitched, well-played game to this point. A 3-2 Yankee lead on 2 unearned runs back in the 4th inning. We welcome you back to Fenway Park. Joe Buck, Bob Brentley, and Tim McCarver with you while I get. Can we call it a classic at Shea Stadium at this point?
I would think so. It reminds me of Game 6, Mets against Houston in 1986.
Well, while that's going on, and they're in the 15th inning, and they continue to play, the Atlanta Braves, who have taken the lead now. 3-2 there. They're still batting in the top of the 15th inning. Atlanta could shut out the Mets in game 5 at Shea Stadium with the rain coming down. We have dodged the weather here in Boston tonight so far. Darren Lewis, who is the number 8 hitter, is at the plate with a 1 ball 1 strike count. Buford and Offerman will follow for the Red Sox, who trail by a run.
Eileen makes her visit later on this evening, right?
So they're calling for some rain here in the New England area later tonight. A little after 9:30 here in Boston. Lewis leading off, grounds to the right side. They had him played perfectly. Now Block was right there. And the leadoff man is gone, and that's 5 in a row retired by Andy Pettitte.
Number 2, the center fielder, Damon Buford.
Damon Buford now. Buford has singled, stolen a base, scored a run. And a strike is in from Pettitte. Bouncer in there. I think that hit all 3. It hit off the glove of Girardi, hit off the home plate umpire Al Clark, and came back and hit Damon Buford. You win a prize for that?
And you need the ear flap on both sides of the helmet for this particular play. See the ball go into the dirt. As you said, Joe, it's Girardi's glove, hits Al Clark in the shoulder, hits Damon Buford in the face.
And another tap foul. Ball and 2 strikes from Pettitte. Competitive games throughout the NLCS between the Braves and the Mets. Some exciting games. 1-0 win for the Braves in game 3, and then they come from behind effort. 2 runs in the 8th inning last night, eventually against Rocker. He was on the mound, giving up the hit to Olerud. And then at least 15 innings today and tonight at Shea Stadium here. We had 2 thrillers in the first 2 games of this ALCS. What turned into a laugher thanks to Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox and the ineffectiveness of Roger Clemens in Game 3. And back to a tight game between Pettit and Saberhagen in Game 4. That's right. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on.
Telling Buford to jerk one.
And that foul tip. It's the mask of Girardi, who has been taking a few off either the shoulder or the mask in this at bat alone.
That'll make your eyes go crossed.
You know, it's interesting to track the season and the progress behind the plate for Joe Girardi and Jorge Posada. It was supposed to move the other way this year, where Posada really took a stranglehold of that catching position for the Yankees. But the Yankees, while they've had effective starters at different times during the season, have not really had much consistency top to bottom in their rotation. And as they've been getting better, it's been Girardi behind the plate more than Posada. He catches here tonight, and Buford grounds another base hit through the infield. He's 2 for 2, and the tying run is on for the Red Sox here in the 5th inning.
Damon Buford picking on a high fastball, hooking it through that hole in the left side of the infield. Last time Buford reached in the 3rd inning, he very quickly stole second base and later scored on a Jose Offerman single.
He guessed right on that steal back in the 3rd inning. See if they want to test their luck with Andy Pettit again. Ball 1. Tim, we've talked twice now about the Red Sox. The running game just isn't one of their weapons for the most part. Only 67 steals during the regular season. Lowest total in the American League. And a check on Buford.
Well, Jimmy Williams told us early in this series that there is enough speed in some of the players on this Red Sox roster to steal bases, but you hate to give away outs at Fenway Park. That green monster is so inviting out there. Any high pop-up has a chance of getting up into that netting in left field. You hate to give away outs on the bases, especially against a guy like Pettit.
When you think of the Red Sox history, there have been few regular players who have been base stealers. The one that comes to mind, Tommy Harper, back in the early 70s. Tommy, a great base runner and a great base stealer. But not many for the reasons you just talked about, Bob.
A 1-0. Showing bunt. Did he pull back in time? He did. They had to appeal down to first, and Dale Scott said that Offerman got the bat back. So it's 2-0 instead of 1-1.
He got it back in time.
2 balls, no strikes. Tying run at first. To the shortstop, Jeter. Good pickup and throw, and the double play ends the 5th inning. The 6-3 twin killing, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the 5th. Saberhagen back to the hill. 6th inning now. Pettit doing his job, and the Yankees lead by 1. Whenever the Goodyear blimp is hovering above with its camera focused on an event, you know you're going to get a unique view. That's certainly the case tonight. Overhead, the Goodyear blimp, Spirit of Akron, named after Akron, Ohio, the home of the world headquarters for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Down below, it's been good pitching to this point. And a strike hits the outside corner from Brett Saberhagen. It'll be Tino Martinez, Darryl Strawberry, who's homered tonight, and then Scott Brocious. 0-2.
Pretty good numbers for Brett Saberhagen here, up to the 87 pitch mark. The 1 walk in this ball game was an intentional pass to Darryl Strawberry back in the 4th inning. His control has been outstanding.
Just missing the inside corner. 1-2 on Tino Martinez. 3-2 New York lead, 6th inning, game 4. 2-2 on Tino. So they sell popcorn around here. Understand rain is headed this way. The 2-2 is fouled back here. Is that a good sign when a foul ball hits the press box about 40 feet to our left and you can feel this booth shake? This ballpark's been around since 1912. It just took another dent. The 2-2 to Tino Martinez. Right back to Saberhagen. Good play. That saved a hit. 1 out.
Good reactions by Brett Saberhagen. Ball had a lot of topspin on it.
Darryl Strawberry.
Oh, Lynn.
When Saberhagen, who sang the national anthem. Watching husband Brett work here in the 6th inning and deal with Darryl, who rolls one over to first. Easy for Stanley. 2 up, 2 down. Well, the Boston Red Sox, as we already talked about, come in here at home in the postseason averaging 15 runs a game. 45 in the first 3 games played here. Are getting exactly what they needed out of Brett Saberhagen. But the Bats have gone quiet thanks to effective pitching from Andy Pettitte.
Brett's longest outing of the year, by the way. He had no complete games. His longest outing, August the 11th against Kansas City, when he went 8 innings and won the game 9-3.
Ground ball left side. Garciaparra takes it instead of Valentin and makes the play. Wasn't bothered at all by Valentin, who was sprawling to his left. And it's Nomar who makes the play. A 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. Heart of the order coming up. Red Sox batting down by 1. Bottom of the 6th inning now. It will be Valentin, Garciaparra, and Stanley for the Red Sox. General Manager Brian Cashman watching. The unenviable position of being the go-between between Joe Torre and George Steinbrenner. Derek Lowe gets loose for the Red Sox out in their bullpen. Valentin leads it off and takes a strike from Andy Pettitte.
John Valentin shaking his head at that fastball off the plate, but Brett Saberhagen has been getting that pitch also. So a wide plate for home plate umpire Al Clark.
A little too wide. 1 ball, 1 strike. Valentin has doubled. He doubled off the wall back in the 3rd inning. As we get deeper into this game, that play at the plate and the relay from Williams to Jeter to Girardi to cut down Offerman at the plate in the 3rd inning becomes a bigger and bigger play. Ground ball up the middle, base hit under the glove of Jeter, and the leadoff man is on for the Red Sox.
This could be a huge hit for the Red Sox with Garciaparra coming up. Derek Jeter, a dive and a try, just eluded it.
Now Garciaparra, who's 0 for 1 with a pop-up and a walk. Ball 1.
Yeah, right, Nomar. You're going to bunt, right? That's the decoy of decoys.
Obviously a ploy just to try to draw Brocious in at 3rd base so he could slap the ball by him down there.
Tying run at first with nobody out. 6th inning of game 4. And Garciaparra flies it into right for O'Neill. One away and back to first is Valentin. So Garciaparra hitless tonight. Pitched around him in the 3rd inning. Got away with it as Stanley struck out. A rare frustrating night at the plate for the Red Sox all-star shortstop. Here's Mike Stanley, who's 0 for 2.
Gotta think Mike Stanley could make an adjustment in this at bat. He struck out his last time up. He tried to pull Andy Pettitte his first time up. He is very, very good going the other way, trying to find the hole on the right side. And there's a big one over there.
Valentin, you would have to believe, is going nowhere. Not only can you not get a read on Pettitte, but with the knee problems experienced by Valentin, he's not running well at all. He's the tying run at first with 1 out. And a strike to Stanley.
Stanley generally hits the ball on the ground to the left side of the infield and in the air to right center and right field. Ground ball to the left side of the infield. Chuck Knobloch would be in the middle of that double play attempt.
One on, 1 out. 1-run Yankee lead, and Stanley now in the hole 0-2.
It's like Andy Pettitte's trying to make him pull the ball by throwing that fastball inside, that cutter. First 2 pitches inside. Andy Pettitte has induced 2 double plays tonight. Once in the 2nd inning and once in the 5th.
The 0-2 to Stanley. 1-2. Andy Pettitte, who threw so well in game 2 of the division series against Texas. For Joe Torre's 7 1/3 innings, 1 run on 7 hits and a 3-1 victory. And it was Clemens who shut down Texas in a 3-0 win in game 3. Yankees won the first 2 games of this ALCS, lost yesterday, lead here tonight. And still 1-2 on Stanley.
Continuing to pound Mike Stanley inside. That's dangerous sometimes if you're trying to turn the double play. If you jam that hitter so badly he doesn't hit it hard enough for your infielders to have time to turn to. Stanley just continues to pull that ball foul down the 3rd base side.
That's a good point, Bob, because no inside pitch is designed for a double play ball. All double play balls, generally speaking, are outside and obviously down.
This is a bad speed combination for the Red Sox with Valentin, the runner, at first. Stanley at the plate. On top of that, a gimpy Butch Husky waiting on deck. The 1-2. Pettitte one of the inside corner, doesn't get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch from 0-2 to 3-2, and it gets more and more interesting for the Red Sox here in the 6th inning.
That's 7 straight pitches inside to Mike Stanley. If you're John Valentin at first base, and it looks like Stanley's got a pretty good read of Andy Pettitte, I think Jimmy Williams will send the runner. Speed is not a priority on a 3-2 running count.
Stays put. Stanley just got a piece to stay alive as it trickled through the wicket of Joe Girardi.
Just does get a piece of it, and Valentin really having problems over there at first base trying to read Andy Pettit's move. He was nearly standing on first base as that pitch was delivered.
And remember, it's not necessary to get a good jump if you are running. You need a runner at first base. Make sure he pitches.
That's foul. And Valentin has stayed put on each of the last 2 3-2 deliveries.
I'm surprised that Jimmy Williams in a one-run ball game does not put Valentin in motion. By not doing that, if Stanley hits any kind of ground ball to one of the infielders, it's going to be a sure double play. Two out. And that quiets this crowd, and Valentin is at first with 2 down. Strikeout number 4 for Pettit.
Pettit stays with the game plan consistently throughout that at bat, just hammering Mike Stanley inside with fastballs. This time with the slider down and in. Stanley can't get a piece of that one.
They just put that up on the scoreboard here.
The designated hitter, Bush Husky.
The Mets have come back to defeat the Atlanta Braves.
Grand slam home run by Robin Ventura in the bottom of the 15th, and the Mets are alive. Wow.
That forces a game 6 back in Atlanta. Here the Red Sox down 2 games to 1. As they fix the score. 7-3 on the grand slam by Ventura. Red Sox trying to even this series at 2 apiece. Down by a run, and Husky takes ball 1. A leadoff hit by Valentin here in the 6th inning. Garciaparra flying to right. Stanley struck out. He was hooked up in a battle with Andy Pettit. 3-3-2 deliveries, and the 3rd one put Stanley away. One ball, 1 strike on Husky. For those of you just joining us, we have been playing here at Fenway Park in Game 4 of this American League Championship Series. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Bob Brentley. It's a 3-2 Yankee lead on the strength of 2 unearned runs scored by New York back in the 4th inning. And what is basically a waste of time, Pettit checks on Valentin over at first again. He wasn't running on 3-2 pitches to Stanley. He isn't running on a 1-1 pitch to Husky. Husky lines one to right. O'Neill is there, and that'll do it for the Red Sox in the 6th inning. A leadoff hit. Boston does nothing with it. They've stranded 3, and after 6, Yankees up by 1. Back after this from your local Fox station. Well, we welcome you back. Top of the 7th inning. And there's Chris Chambliss, hitting coach for the Yankees. He got this report from Jim Leyritz just moments ago.
7. Look at that, 7-3.
Grand slam, Ventura.
Who hit it?
Ventura.
Ventura hit a grand slam?
Grand slam. Who? Ventura. Grand slam. They walked Pratt to tie it up. Walked Pratt on 3-4 pitches. First pitch.
What more do you need to know? Jim Leyritz is not active for this series, playing a vital role to keep the bench updated on the NLCS as Chad Curtis taps the first one foul to start the 7th inning. Strike 1. Here is the grand slam against McGlinchey. That swing. New York Mets force Game 6 in the NLCS back in Atlanta. Travel day tomorrow, and The New York Mets with all of the momentum in that series. Winning a thriller last night, getting a couple in the 8th inning, and winning in 15 in Game 5 this afternoon and tonight. Derek Lowe, the numbers during the regular season, very valuable, really in any role that Jimmy Williams chose for him, whether it was long relief, setup, closer, whatever it was. He pitched well, and the 0-2 is up and away to Curtis.
And a perfectly suited pitcher for Fenway Park. Definitely a ground ball pitcher. Almost 3 ground ball outs per fly ball out this season. Throws that nasty heavy sinker.
A 1-2. Chopped to third. Foul ball. Well, if you are just joining us, the first run of the night was provided by Darryl Strawberry. This crowd chanting "Just say no" when he did this. Off the foul pole and right. "Just say no," said the crowd. Here's what Chris Chambliss, the hitting coach, had to say.
Say yes. Just say yes, baby. Say yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Say yes.
Evidently, Chris Chambliss, a huge Austin Powers fan.
And the home run was the 7th in LCS play for Darryl Strawberry. That lead left in a hurry in the bottom of the 2nd as Curtis pops it up. Behind short, Garciaparra gives way to O'Leary. In the bottom of the 2nd, after that home run by Strawberry, a 1-out double by Husky, and this flare off the bat of Troy O'Leary. Broken bat fly ball, and Butch Husky with a bad knee, limping all the way to the plate.
The catcher,
happy to dive in hand first to tie the game at 1. That was all the action back in the 2nd inning. Here's Joe Girardi with 1 out, nobody on in the 7th. A 3-2 Yankee lead. Girardi 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded out. He's struck out. 2 out of 6 in this ALCS. Hard hit, but right at Garciaparra. Wide throw, but out. More runs tonight in the 3rd inning. A 1-out single by Damon Buford. He stole 2nd. He scored on the hit by Offerman, but then Valentin bounced one off the wall, and this relay from Williams to Jeter to Girardi, the tag at the plate, kept it just a 1-run game. Instead of a 2-run inning, that effort by Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter, and Joe Girardi on the diving tag kept it 2-1 Boston. And then the Yankees went back to work as Knobloch, with 2 out, nobody on, takes ball 1. Andy Pettitte doing his part on the mound tonight for New York. 2-0.
And so did Brett Saberhagen for the Red Sox. 2 unearned runs for the Yankees in that 4th inning. That is a difference in this ball game. Jimmy Williams got all he wanted out of Brett Saberhagen.
3-0 from Lowe. The 2nd of the 2 unearned runs. Saberhagen's error at first base when he dropped a toss from Mike Stanley on what should have been the final out in the 4th inning. 3 balls and a strike on Knobloch with 2 out, nobody on. A 2-out walk. In the 4th inning for the Yankees, Bernie Williams with 1 out, nobody on, grounded a ball to the right of Nomar Garciaparra. He made the nice stop, threw across his body and into the Red Sox dugout. That put Bernie Williams down to 2nd with a hit and an error. He scored on an RBI double by Tino Martinez, who scored on this error when Brett Saberhagen could not handle the toss from Stanley, and then compounded the problem by kicking it away, and Tino Martinez tap danced across home plate to make it 3-2, and that's where we stand as we roll forward to the 7th inning. Knobloch draws a throw at first.
And for good reason. A good running situation. Knobloch with 28 stolen bases during the season. That led the Yankees. He was caught 9 times, but because it's 2 outs, good time to run. A lot of things from a reasoning standpoint lead to that conclusion. You've got a low ball pitcher on the mound, a right-hander, so he throws a lot of ground balls. If he gets the ball where he wants to, it's going to be tough to handle for Varitek. And Knobloch with good speed.
And another look by Derek Lowe.
And should Knobloch be thrown out attempting to steal, you have Derek Jeter leading off the next inning, which is not all bad.
Knobloch with 1 steal this postseason. 28 during the regular season. Caught 9 times. And a chopper to Garciaparra. The flip for the out. And that'll do it for the top of the 7th inning. Time to stretch here at Fenway. Andy Pettitte back to the hill. What a job he's doing. Yankees lead by 1. Well, we take a look at the rest of the championship series. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Yankees and the Red Sox on Fox. Game 5 from Fenway Park. Now we know there will be a Game 6 on Tuesday night on NBC. Mets at the Braves. So congratulations to the New York Mets as they force at least 6 games and will steamroll into Atlanta. They've sent some of their rain up toward us. Starts to sprinkle here lightly. As Troy O'Leary leads it off and takes a strike. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-2 New York. Andy Pettitte has allowed just 2 runs on 7 Boston hits. Strike 2. Two double plays turned tonight behind Pettitte. And we showed you the play at the plate executed by Williams, Jeter, and Girardi to save a run. Red Sox have actually out-hit the Yankees 7-5. Little roller to Martinez. Nasty hop. And he beats O'Leary to the bag, 1 away.
Once you commit yourself to make a backhanded play on the ball, if that ball takes a bad hop or stays down, you just have to go with it. You don't really have time to turn your glove around, fingers down, to make that play. So Tino stayed with it and is able to beat O'Leary to the bag.
And Jason Varitek will stand in. 0 for 2. He bounced into a double play in the 2nd, fly to right in the 4th. Batting with the bases empty. Red Sox trailing by a run and a strike from Andy Pettitte. Up over 90 pitches for Pettitte as he works in the 7th. Back up the middle. Knobloch to his right. Always an adventure with a throw, and Martinez stretches to take the 1-hopper 2 out.
Chuck Knobloch made a great play earlier on a ball hit by Darren Lewis going to his right. He didn't have time to think. He had time to think on this one, however. He's saved, as are the Yankees, by Tino Martinez. Good play by Martinez.
And now with 2 out, nobody on, the number 8 hitter, Darren Lewis, will bat. Action for the Yankees out in their bullpen is the hard-throwing right-hander Jeff Nelson. Warms next to the left-hander Mike Stanton. Right now, it doesn't look like Pettitte needs any help. Lewis 0 for 2 with 2 ground balls to Knobloch. Strike 1.
Seems like, if anything, Andy Pettitte's getting stronger over the last 3 or 4 innings. The Red Sox have had only 2 base runners since the 3rd.
The 0-1 to Lewis. Right at Jeter. And a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte. Working well in game 4. We go to the 8th inning. Well played, well pitched game. A quick one here at Fenway. The Yankees still lead by 1.
Keith Olbermann back at Fenway Park, where the Mets score has been officially changed. 4-3 Mets, not 7-3, because Robin Ventura, although he hit the ball out of the ballpark, never got further than first base. They credited him with a game-winning single. An unprecedented scoring change. Back up to you, Joe Buck.
All right, Keith. So it's a 4-3 Mets win, and I'm sure they could care less. I'm sure Robin Ventura, knowing him, could care less if it's a grand slam or a base hit. Happy that the Mets won. And again, game 6 in Atlanta after the travel day tomorrow. Right now, it's Paul O'Neill leading it off in the 8th inning. He takes a pitch a little up from Derek Lowe. O'Neill, Williams, Tino Martinez for the Yankees, who try to add to their game 4 lead.
Bases were loaded at the time for Robin Ventura. I can't think of a postseason game ended with a grand slam home run. Bernie Williams had the 24th walk-off home run, first game of this series, in the 10th inning off Rod Beck. And that would have been another one, but obviously they have changed that. Chris Chambliss, one of those walk-off home runs. If he touched home, how about?
Well, we're not sure. In that scrum that was down on the field, never really sure if Chambliss touched home plate.
2 balls and a strike on Paul O'Neill.
That was a well-earned walk-off home run.
You can see how smart Chris Chambliss is. He hit it. He got as far around the bases as he could, and then he got the heck out of there. As a line drive is back up the middle into center for a leadoff base hit for Paul O'Neill. He's hit 2 balls hard, and slowly but surely it looks like O'Neill is starting to feel better with that broken rib in his right rib cage. Back to that game-winning home run for Chris Chambliss against Mark Littell and the Kansas City Royals. Third base trying to get to. A few forearms later. Nah, forget it. I'm out of here.
That's more of a sprint-off home run.
So while Chris Chambliss watches from the dugout, the Yankees try to get something working. That's into left center field and up against the wall off the bat of Bernie Williams. Rounding second, heading to third is O'Neill. Into second with a double is Bernie Williams, and it's second and third. Nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Single by Paul O'Neill up the middle, and now look at the head of Bernie Williams right on that sinking fastball from Derek Lowe.
Well, that's a great approach as a hitter. That sinking fastball from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter. If you try to pull it, you're naturally going to hit a ground ball somewhere. Bernie Williams stayed right on that pitch. The head right down the barrel of the bat. Watch him on follow-through. He stays right in there. That will be the tip-off for a hitter. A lot of times, after they make contact, they look to their pull field. Williams stayed right down on the barrel of the bat, drove it to left.
Jimmy Williams, who has 1 left-hander in his bullpen, will go to Real Cormier. Second and third, nobody out. Yankees already up by a run. A chance for more with Tino Martinez about to hit.
Salsa is most definitely in the hips. Because Visa can get you lessons at Salsa Lovers Dance Studio in Miami, where they're just not hip to American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
This is power. The power in new Duracell Ultra. The most powerful alkaline battery in the world. For ultra performance in whatever it powers. New Duracell Ultra. More power.
The Red Sox go to the bullpen for the second time and call on the left-hander Real Cormier. There's the line score, 3-7-0 for the Yankees. It's 2-7-2 for the Red Sox, and the 2 errors played a large role in this game back in the 4th inning. Here is Cormier. dealing with Tino Martinez with runners on at second and third and nobody out here in the 8th inning. The Yankees trying to add to their 3-2 lead. No better time than now for Jimmy Williams to go to his left-hander with Martinez up. Darryl Strawberry, a lefty, on deck. Infield creeps in. On ball one from Cormier.
The key for Jimmy Williams is for Cormier to get Martinez out, and then Chili Davis would be the pinch hitter for Darryl Strawberry, and then Jimmy Williams would bring in the right-hander Rich Garces to pitch to Scott Brocious after they walk Williams or Davis. But the key is Martinez.
And it's 2-0 from Cormier. A single by O'Neill, a double by Williams, and a pitching change. Cormier has yet to throw a strike.
Red Sox with their infield drawn in for a possible play at the plate. You know, Willie Randolph, the third base coach, will have a sign that he will flash to Bernie Williams, the runner at second, letting him know what the runner at third base is going to do. Sometimes that runner will break on contact. Sometimes they'll make the ball get through. You would certainly anticipate the Yankees are going to make the ball get through in this situation.
With nobody out. One out, it's a different situation.
But that runner at second has to know what the runner at third base is going to do. If he's going to break on contact, then the runner at second base will break on contact. If he's going to make the ball get through, then the runner, Bernie Williams, at second has to make the ball get through.
Runners on at second and third with nobody out. 2 balls and a strike on Tino Martinez. 3-1. With the key to success in this inning, or potential success in this inning for the Red Sox, is getting Tino Martinez. Cormier's put himself in a bad spot. 3 balls and a strike. Second and third, nobody out. And a ground ball left side. They were going to make it get through the infield. It doesn't. 1 out.
And now, for the most part, Jimmy Williams has what he wants. Chili Davis will be the pinch hitter. He'll be walked intentionally. Then the right-hander will be brought in to pitch to Scott Brocious. You can see Garciaparra looking at O'Neill at third and then throwing to first. Could be a key out for the Red Sox.
So Darryl Strawberry is lifted. It hit a home run back in the second inning. Second of this postseason, and now it's Chili Davis who will be the hitter for Strawberry. Garces continues to loosen in the Red Sox bullpen, and you would imagine we will see him shortly.
Bet your house on it.
You bet your house on it.
How about me betting your house on it?
That's what I thought you were getting at. Here's a ball to start the intentional walk.
Well, what this does, it allows the Red Sox obviously to play the infield and double play depth with the bases loaded and 1 out. Instead of bringing the infield in, as you would have to do with second and third and 1 out and Chili Davis batting.
So the big out in this inning so far is Tino Martinez grounding out to short. Cormier got the lefty. Walks the switch hitting Davis to load him up. And you can keep your house as Cormier will exit in favor of Rich Garces. He'll come in with the bases loaded, 1 out, and face Brocious under the watchful eye of the boss. George Steinbrenner here watching a 3-2 Yankee lead. So now it's Rich Garces into the game with the bases loaded, 1 away. Yankees leading 3-2. A pinch runner comes into the game for Chili Davis. It's Clay Bellinger now at first. The bases are loaded with 1 out for Scott Brocious. A breaking ball in for a strike.
Mike Stanley is the only infielder that will come home with the ball unless the ball is topped down the third baseline. Then Valentin would have the option, if he can't go for 2, to come home for the play.
1-1 from Garces.
And Garces in the division series against Cleveland in his relief appearances just steadily worked that outside corner with both the fastball and the slider, painting that corner on the right-handed Indians hitters.
The 1-1. Checked his swing, and now the count in Scott's favor. 2 balls and a strike. O'Neill the runner at third. Bernie Williams on at second, and now Bellinger on at first, running for Davis. Pettit pacing and stretching. The 2-1. A little pop-up behind second for Offerman. O'Neill will start down the line and stop, and for the Red Sox, Garces backing up. Saves a wild throw from Offerman. Bases loaded, 2 out.
Paul O'Neill drawing the throw, and Rich Garces with a save. Offerman's throw offline. It scoots by Varitek. Here it is right here. Offerman going back, making the play. O'Neill draws the throw. A hard throw by Varitek, but there's Garces for the save. That's why pitchers back up catchers. We saw earlier in the game Andy Pettit did not do that. No further damage for the Yankees. That's why you're back there.
Now this inning falls into the lap of Chad Curtis. Batting with the bases loaded, 2 out. Ball 1. Cormier came in and did his job. Garces trying to do his. Yankees leading 2-1, leading here in the 8th inning of Game 4, 3-2. Bases loaded, 2 out. 2-0 from Garces to Curtis. Two. Lost the bat. What a job by the Red Sox bullpen. They keep Boston in it, still trailing by 1.
By the people inspired to build vehicles for your mind and heart. Nissan, driven by Budweiser, made with the freshest all-natural ingredients for brewery fresh taste. by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? And by MasterCard. MasterCard, proud sponsor of Major League Baseball and fan of the great American pastime.
What a terrific job by Real Cormier and Rich Garces in the top of this 8th inning. And now Andy Pettitte, who pitched in Game 2 of the division series, pitched into the 8th, 7 1/3, 1 run on 7 hits, has backup behind him. Nelson and Rivera getting loose as Damon Buford is 2 for 2, leads it off. 1-run Yankee lead and a ball low from Pettitte. The outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Offerman, who has a hit tonight, is on deck, and then Valentin. Strike 2 on Buford. Talk about the importance of this Game 4. We know this will at least be a 5-game series. If this series should go back to New York, the Yankees are facing the prospects of facing the Martinez brothers. First Ramon in Game 6 and then Pedro in Game 7 if this ALCS should go that far. The 1-2 to Buford leading off. That's foul. Talked about the importance for the Yankees winning Game 2. A 1-run victory, holding off the Red Sox late. Knowing that Game 3, the starter would be Pedro Martinez, and he lived up to the hype and the billing in yesterday's game. As Buford strikes out looking. Chris Chambliss, we already showed you the home run he hit, a walk-off home run in 1976. He talks it over with trainer Gene Monahan about that situation with the Mets.
Did you hear what they did? They took away the guy's grand slam because he didn't touch home plate. Think about it.
Yeah.
Is that lousy or what?
Yeah, it is. But that's the rule. You got to go around the bases. Yeah. Got to go around, just like you had to go around.
I didn't.
You hit that home run.
We just saw he didn't. Right?
1 out with the bases empty, and Jose Offerman takes a strike.
Joe Torre's going to have a very interesting decision to make if Andy Pettitte gets Offerman out of there. A 1-run ball game. You've got Valentin coming up. Valentin 2 for 3. My guess is he'll bring in Rivera.
One ball, 1 strike. Rain starts to pick up here at Fenway Park. The NLCS sending rain toward the ALCS. The 1-1 pitch. Hard hit, Knobloch can't handle it, tries to make a throw and throws it away. Backed up by Girardi, and there's the tying run with 1 out here in the 8th, and the throwing troubles continue for Chuck Knobloch.
Glove problems right there. In fairness to Knobloch on that particular play, that is not a routine play. That is a very difficult short hop, and once he bobbled the ball, any second baseman could throw it away. But Girardi alertly backing up that play. Otherwise, Offerman's on at second base.
So Andy Pettitte will be lifted here in the 8th inning. Knobloch, though, after knocking it down, didn't put it in his pocket, threw it away, got away with it, and Pettitte is finished. Can't pitch much better than Andy Pettitte, working 7+ innings. Got the leadoff man on a strikeout here in the 8th inning. An infield hit. That's how it's ruled off the bat of Jose Offerman. And now Mariano Rivera, who won game 1, saved game 2, works in game 4. And one of the postseason heroes for the Red Sox, John Valentin, stands in. 2 home runs in game 3 here against Cleveland with his Red Sox down 2-0. 7 RBIs in game 4. 2 RBIs in the game 5 clincher at Cleveland. 5 RBIs here yesterday as the Red Sox won their first of this ALCS. 2 out of 3 tonight. Current scoreless streaks for Mariano Rivera. The regular season closed down 30 2/3 innings without being scored upon. He has been automatic since '97 in the postseason for the Yankees. Strike to Valentin.
The reason we put a check mark on that 30 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, that is the most consecutive scoreless innings taken into the postseason since Oral Hershiser had 59 straight scoreless innings taken into postseason in 1988.
Another check on Offerman. Pedro Martinez, Cy Young this year in the American League. No doubt about that. One of the game's best relievers, Rivera, deals high to Valentin. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Saw that consecutive scoreless inning streak for Rivera. He is not allowed a run all season with Joe Girardi behind the plate. 22 1/3 innings. Opponents were 4 for 73, an .055 batting average with Joe Girardi behind the dish.
A little high, 2-1.
Staring in at home plate umpire Al Clark. He wanted that last fastball. And that's all you're going to get from Rivera. You may get a cutter, but it'll be the same speed as the high rider.
There is a high strike over the inside corner. And now Valentin looks at Al Clark. 2-2.
You don't see that call a strike very often in this day and age.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. 1 run Yankee lead in the 8th here in game 4. It's Valentin now. It's Garciaparra next. Checked his swing. On ball 3.
Rivera repeatedly up high with his pitches to John Valentin. Remember, John Valentin tomahawked a high fastball from Roger Clemens yesterday in the 1st inning to put the Red Sox on the board. Rivera's fastball a little different than the Rockets, however, at this stage in their respective careers.
And for that reason, it'll be interesting to see if Jimmy Williams puts Offerman in motion here. Rivera, a strikeout pitcher.
There's the tying run at first with 1 out. Not going. And Valentin, a check swing ground ball to Knobloch. They say he tagged the runner out at first, and they're calling it an inning-ending double play. Jimmy Williams comes sprinting out to talk to the second base umpire, Tim Toshida. And I have to say, from up here, it looked like Knobloch missed Offerman.
He missed it. Was he called out because he was out of the baseline to try to avoid the tag? He did not look like he was out of the baseline to me. Obviously, he tries to avoid the tag. It's clear that Knobloch didn't tag him, but I think he was called out for going out of the baseline, and he did not look like he was out of the baseline from this viewpoint.
So Jimmy Williams and the Red Sox, who rightly felt robbed in game 1 on a call at second base by Rick Reed, the second base umpire, on what was called a force out at second, and it was Offerman involved in that play as well. Offerman is called out here at the start of a double play, and we go to the 9th inning with the Yankees still up by 1. Jose Offerman specifically, and the Red Sox as a group appear once again the victims of a terrible call by this umpiring crew.
We are not sure yet whether Tim Tashita called him out on the tag or whether he went out of the baseline. It doesn't matter. He didn't tag him, and he didn't go out of the baseline. Either way you want to look at it. Well, I mean, he's on the dirt portion all the way. I mean, it's not even close.
And now Girardi fouls it off to the right. And it'll be a long time before Red Sox fans forget this play in game 1 down at second base. They said that Knobloch had control of it, lost it getting the ball out of his glove, and instead of, and again it was Offerman at second base, instead of having 2 on with nobody out, the number 3 hitter up in a tie game 10th inning. It was 1 on 1 out, and a double play ball followed. Fly ball into center off the bat of Girardi, and Buford back to make the catch. 1 away here in the top of the 9th.
You know, the thing that makes both those plays even more painful for Red Sox fans, Nomar Garciaparra on deck in both situations.
Here it is from yet another angle. And obviously there's no tag. I mean, he's like a half a step or a foot at the most out of the baseline. Dave Joust, the first base coach, protesting vehemently, as was Jimmy Williams.
And it's yet another example that Jimmy Williams, I guarantee you, will bring up of, in this case, the second base umpire probably having the worst view of the play of any of the 6 umpires that are out on the field. He had the fielder and the runner in his line of sight, and that phantom tag took place behind the back of Jose Offerman, to the point where Tim Tashita, the second base umpire, couldn't see whether Knobloch, who's at the plate now, actually touched him or not. And Jimmy Williams will tell you, like he did after game 1, why is it in baseball that you have to ask umpires to ask for help instead of the umpires on their own getting together to get the call right, as they do in the NFL, as they do in the NBA. That's on the outside corner, and strike 2 on Knobloch.
Look at Offerman. Clearly, Knobloch misses the tag. That much is sure. Offerman barely buried his route to second. He's not out of the baseline. It's a bad, bad call.
Back to Garces, off the glove of Garces for an infield hit for Knobloch. And the Yankees, who lead 3-2 here in the 9th inning, have 1 on, 1 out.
Garces instinctively sticks his glove up to try to make a play on this ball. You see Nomar Garciaparra coming into the back of your picture, headed up the middle. Might have had a play on that ball had Garcias not touched it, but it's tough to battle those instincts out there on the mound. That ball comes back, you try to make a play.
So the Red Sox, who have had one frustrating experience after another in the postseason, are frustrated once again by a call made by a second base umpire. One on, one out. Jeter at the plate.
Joe and Bob, another telltale factor from the way I saw it was that once Knobloch made the throw to first base, he retreated to his position. If he thought that he had either tagged Offerman or that Offerman had gone out of the baseline,
Knobloch running as Jeter fouls it away.
He would have continued onto the Yankee dugout, figuring the inning's over. But by the fact that he retreated to his position, he realized that he didn't make the tag and that Offerman went down the baseline.
So Knobloch, who made a quick exit from Yankee Stadium after game 1, not wanting to field questions about that play at second base. Maybe out of Fenway Park here early again tonight. One on, one out, no balls, one strike on Jeter. And a fly ball base hit into left center field. O'Leary cuts it off, and it's 2 on, 1 out here in the 9th inning for New York. And that's typical Yankees. As they did in game 1, they catch a break, and the good teams take advantage of breaks and continue to come right after you.
Jeter fighting off that inside fastball. Didn't get the good part of the bat on it, but was able to muscle it out there into shallow left field.
We had a quick shot of the bullpen where Ramon Martinez is loosening with Rod Beck. Interesting that Martinez would be down there and that he is the scheduled starter for game 6. But you know the argument, we may never get to game 6. Pedro's older brother gets loose for Boston as Garces is in a 9th inning jam. 2 on, 1 out. And O'Neill at the plate. Hard hit to second. Offerman. Bad throw and safe at second. They will bring Knobloch to the plate. He is in standing up, and the Yankees lead 4-2 in the 9th. So action swirling around second base, and Offerman commits the error, and that adds to the Yankee lead.
Offerman made a nice play on that hard hit ball, but his throw to Garciaparra was low, and as Jeter slid in there, it looked like he was able to knock the ball away from Nomar Garciaparra. He never had command of that ball at second base. And when Jeter comes in hard, hits the ball, knocks it out into shallow left field, that gives Knobloch an opportunity to come all the way around and score.
That's like a fumble in football. Once a ball is dropped that close to second base, it's anybody's ball, either the slider or the fielder.
And now a pitch down and in to Bernie Williams. It's an error charged to Offerman. No RBI for O'Neill, and he's on at first with Jeter on at second, and still only 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Yankees leading by 2, 4-2. Pitch up and into Bernie Williams, and the count 2-0. As we approach 11 o'clock, and we are just about at 11 straight up here in Boston. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Bob Brentley with you. The Yankees up 2-1. We're in game 4. Unearned runs on the board for the Yankees, and they lead 4-2. They got 2 unearned runs in the 4th inning. And we'll see how this 9th inning plays out. It could very well be another or more, despite a strong start from Brett Saberhagen, who went 6 strong innings. 1 earned run on 5 hits, 5 strikeouts. He's sitting and watching as Garces delivers to Williams, who delivers one into right. They will bring Jeter to the plate. The throw by Lewis is cut off. It trickles away from Garciaparra. Down to second is Bernie Williams, and it's now a 5-2 Yankee lead as this game unravels in the 9th inning. So Bernie Williams gets the RBI base hit.
3 crucial errors, perhaps another one in this inning. The Red Sox should be in the dugout. The double play should have been completed by Offerman. Jeter scores easily. The throw to O'Neill, and now the ball off the glove of Garciaparra. And an error could be given by allowing Bernie Williams to go to second base, because he had stopped between first and second.
And there is an error charged to either the right fielder or the shortstop Garciaparra. They've given it to the right fielder. That's Darren Lewis, who's in right tonight, typically the center fielder for Jimmy Williams. So it's an RBI single, E9. After the intentional pass to Tino Martinez, the bases are loaded with only one out. Ramon Martinez, Rod Beck getting loose, and Jimmy Williams. And these Red Sox and these fans who are packed into Fenway Park are totally deflated after that umpire's call in the bottom of the 8th inning. Now in the top of the 9th, 2 more errors for the Red Sox, and the Yankees continue to add to their lead. They lead by a score of 5-2. A pitching change. Jimmy Williams will take the ball from Garces as we watch the base hit to right by Bernie Williams. Yankees up by 3 here in the 9th inning of Game 4.
That play at second base, and we were talking about Chuck Knobloch, he would have left the field had he thought he touched him or the Offerman went out of the baseline. Now watch Knobloch turn right there. He's headed back to second base. Now he sees that Offerman was called out. You can see Derek Jeter making a tag, but obviously that was a moot point. He was already tagged out. But had Knobloch thought that he had tagged Offerman or that Offerman had gone out of the baseline, he would not have tried to go back to his position. He'd have gone in the dugout.
Meanwhile, Rod Beck is into the game to face a pinch hitter, Ricky Leday. Ricky Leday is the 4th Yankee to occupy this number 6 spot in the lineup. First Strawberry, then Davis, then Bellinger, and now Leday with the bases loaded, only 1 out. And a strike from Rod Beck. A dead calm has descended over Fenway Park as the rain starts to fall. The Yankees lead by 3 here in the 9th inning, and Leday pounds one into center field. Well hit at the wall. Grand slam, Ricky Leday. And it's a 9-2 Yankee lead here in the 9th inning. So Rod Beck gives up yet another home run. He gave up a 10th inning game-winning home run to Bernie Williams in Game 1. And he comes in here tonight. A 9th inning grand slam to Ricky Leday to bust it wide open.
Either a splitter or a fastball. A ball hit about the same place. Bernie Williams hit his to win Game 1.
Center fielder Buford slipped, so it took Offerman with a good hustling play to pull that in. Leday's not even in the dugout, and that was the 2nd out of the inning as Brocious pops up. Leday can't get in the dugout. His teammates are too excited to see him after this. And it's a night for grand slams in the LCS for teams from New York. One that counts as a grand slam, the other that wins Game 5 for the New York Mets is ruled a game-winning single because Robin Ventura did not complete his trip around the bases. And the 9th man to bat in the inning is Chad Curtis, batting with 2 out, nobody on. A lot of backs are turned to the field as some of these fans start to head for the exits here in the rain. And this umpiring crew will again come under fire. Rick Reed in Game 1. It's Tim Sheeta's turn here in Game 4. And we look ahead to tomorrow night. Game 5 starters. El Duque, Orlando Hernandez for the Yankees, and Kent Mercker. A rematch of Game 1. Mercker lasted 4 innings, allowed 2 earned runs on 6 hits, and no decision. And that eventual Yankee victory. Curtis is gone to end the top of the 9th inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th here in Game 4. Red Sox will bat. Garciaparra will lead it off. This one looks like it belongs to New York, leading 9-2. Big day for baseball fans in New York as George Steinbrenner sits out in the rain while Mariano Rivera will try to close this one down. Garciaparra will lead off in the 9th inning for the Red Sox, who lead the trail 9-2, and the Yankees, who lead 9-2, have their best on the mound. And by the way, if he closes this one out, it would be a save.
Probably the easiest save that he has attempted all year.
Garciaparra, then Stanley, then Husky. 0-2. Let's go down to Keith Olbermann. Keith.
Joe, with the caveat that this is unofficial, third base umpire Tim McClellan says that the call in the top of the 8th inning, or the bottom of the 8th inning, on the double play by Tim Sheeta was on the tag, that he saw a tag at second base on Offerman. Again, it's unofficial. The umps have not conferred, so they are not held to that remark, but that is what McClellan understands. Joe,
Thank
up to you.
Keith. Well, clearly not a tag. Clearly not even close. And I maintain, and I'm sure Jimmy Williams maintains, that the umpire had the worst view of it, made the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Garciaparra. Still 1-2 on Nomar, who is hitless tonight with a walk. Garciaparra now 7 out of 15 in this ALCS with a couple of home runs. These Red Sox, it looks like, will have to look to tomorrow night. Trying to go up the ladder, and Garciaparra gets a piece of it. Be sure to stay tuned to Fox for your late local news immediately following the game. For those of you who want more coverage of tonight's game, turn to your local Fox Sports Net for Fox Sports News, except for viewers on the West Coast. We get coverage at normal time. Here's a ground ball to third. Backhanded stab by Brocious. Out at first. And another argument. First base umpire Dale Scott called Garciaparra out on this play.
Now, Brocious makes a nice play to his backhand side here, falls to the ground, takes a little while to right himself. Garciaparra streaking down that first baseline. Hey, on first look with the naked eye, it looked like he beat the play.
He was safe. A closer look right there. That one, it could have gone either way. I don't know.
Jimmy Williams and the Red Sox figuring this is 9 against 15. And Jimmy Williams has just been ejected after he fired his hat into the air. I don't blame Jimmy Williams at all. Some fans start to throw things onto the field, and this could turn into a nasty situation here in a hurry. Some of the security comes onto the field. Jimmy Williams has seen enough, and he is gone.
Well, you can certainly understand his frustration. His Red Sox ball club has made this Yankees team darn near even throughout this series.
The umpires might pull the players off the field here.
Yeah.
The umpires are having things thrown at them from the crowd here at Fenway, and they are going to pull these players and the umpires off the field for their own safety. So while the fans show their displeasure by firing things onto the field, it becomes a dangerous situation. And this, while it's an extremely frustrating situation for the Red Sox and their fans, there is no place for this in the game of baseball, whether it's October or May. Dave Joust, the first base coach for the Red Sox, still out on the field, and this is getting ugly, as you can expect. Make the announcement that fans must refrain from throwing objects onto the field. And hopefully that'll stop so we can close out game 4. Garciaparra called out on that close play at first. And these fans are disrupting the play here in the 9th inning as we get another look at that play.
Yeah, the frustration was fueled long before that play. In game 1 at second, yeah, he beat the play right there. He was safe.
We must request the disruption of the game.
So the bullpens have emptied, at least for the Yankees, as the fans here continue to throw things down onto the field. And we will roll the tape all the way back to game 1 of this ALCS. Show you where this frustration on the part of the Red Sox and their fans began with this play at second base. A ball that was ruled a catch and then ruled a drop, as Knobloch clearly dropped it out at second base, never had control of it. Rick Reed was the umpire. And then you start to get into the bad luck category of a couple of balls hit off the very top of the wall. In game 2, first Varitek, then O'Leary, which adds to the frustration. And then this call here in the bottom of the 8th inning on what was ruled a 4-3 double play. A tag play at second base between Knobloch and Offerman that never happened. Let's go down to Keith Olbermann. Keith.
Joe, in fact, it spilled over just now at front of the Yankee dugout between not fans and Yankees, or fans and fans, but elements of the security and at least one Yankee player. I believe I saw Jeff Nelson, but I'm fairly confident, but I wouldn't testify to it. But there was a hold me back restraining on both ends that prevented anything from erupting, but there was a shoving match seconds away when cooler heads prevail. The scene down here is very tense, but the one positive perhaps is that almost all of the stuff that I have seen thrown has been plastic, so at least the chances of bodily injury are remote. For the time being, up to you, Joe.
All right, Keith, thank you. Down by the dugout, and as the crowd gets thinner and thinner, this crowd has stopped throwing things onto the field now. And hopefully we can get back to baseball and finish game 4 of this American League Championship Series. So an ugly situation here in Boston in the 9th inning of game 4, and hopefully we're moments away from restarting this one with the Yankees leading 9-2. With 1 out, nobody on in the 9th inning. Keith Olbermann talking about a situation between part of the staff or the security personnel for the Red Sox and a player, and here it is. That staff member, and he has it on the back of his shirt, got into it with Jeff Nelson, who was held back by Bernie Williams and others. And now with the Yankees on the second step of their dugout, Rivera is loosening to finish this game. And by the way, and it's happened before during the regular season. I was at a game at Dodger Stadium where the umpires just called the Cardinals off the field, and they awarded the game because of forfeit. As we look at that one more time, Nelson coming up the steps and held back by Bernie Williams. At some point, and it looks like everything is calm now, the umpires could just send the Yankees off the field, and this would be a forfeit on the part of the Red Sox. If in danger to the players out on the field, the umpires ruled that they'd be better off just forgetting the rest of this game. But it appears, thankfully so, that that won't be the case. And Mike Stanley, who's 0 for 3, will face Mariano Rivera. Pop it foul, out of play off to the right. A 9-2 Yankee lead here in the 9th inning. 2 outs away from a 3-1 advantage in this 1999 ALCS. Officially an 8-minute delay. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Stanley. Police officers still on the field. This is that group down the left side, and there's strike 2 on Stanley.
You don't get the feeling that the game will be interrupted, but you do have to have concern for the umpires in particular after the game. I would imagine that there will be a cordon of policemen and security going out to protect the 6 umpires. One would hope so.
Still 1-2 on Mike Stanley. Normally we would do a post-game interview, but because of security measures and because none of the Yankees are going to stand out on that field after this game comes to a close, understandably, we will not be bringing you an interview after this game 4. The Red Sox will be too frustrated to talk, and the Yankees sure would rather retreat to the safety of their clubhouse as Stanley gets a base hit to center field with 1 out here in the 9th inning. So a classic finish to NLCS Game 5 at Shea Stadium, and an ugly finish to American League Championship Series Game 4 here in Boston. Brian Daubach will come off the bench and hit for the Red Sox. Bat for Butch Husky, who is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored.
With a 7-run lead, not as much concern on the part of Joe Torre and his staff about the delay that Mariano Rivera had to withstand. Rivera went into the dugout with the rest of his teammates until the field was cleared. Security people were in place. Then he went back out to the mound and threw warm-up pitches until he deemed himself ready to go back into action.
And the bullpen of the Yankees has emptied, so nobody's available to warm up.
Little broken bat pop-up to Knobloch. That's 1 on, 2 out.
Obviously, for safety reasons, the bullpen members of the Yankees, including their coaches, led by Tony Cloninger, emptied the bullpen. In all probability, they will not be needed because of the effectiveness of Mariano Rivera.
Andy Pettitte will get the victory here tonight. They'll go 2-0 this postseason, 6-4 lifetime in the postseason. Saberhagen will suffer his 2nd defeat of this postseason. He'll go to 2-4 lifetime. And Mariano Rivera is now 2 strikes away from his 11th career postseason save, his 4th of this 1999 playoffs. 1 on, 2 out. O'Leary, strike 2. O'Leary 1 hit tonight in 3 at-bats, and he's been overmatched with each of the first 2 pitches from Rivera here. Stays alive. Total of 3 unearned runs on the board for the Yankees tonight, 3 of their 9. They lead 9-2, and O'Leary tomahawks one down into the right field corner. Stanley will chug over to 3rd. They will hold him there on a double by O'Leary, and it's 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. And now they have some problem with a fan down the right field corner, and they're going to eject that fan. The fan who leaned over and bothered O'Neill on this play has been ejected from the ballpark. So the ugliness continues here at Fenway.
Guy should have been thrown out a long time ago for coming dressed like that.
Showed him earlier, and these fans that are frustrated here in Boston are showing their displeasure, voicing their displeasure. It really has turned ugly here in the 9th inning. Second and 3rd with 2 out, and yet another delay for Mariano Rivera. This game might come to a close with security personnel on the playing field. Here's Varitek with second and third, 2 out. A strike from Rivera. Andy Alderson from Major League Baseball talking with that member of the security staff here at Fenway Park. And again, we're down to the final strike here in game 4. 9-2 Yankee lead. That blistering 95-mile-per-hour fastball misses, ball 1. Runners on at second and third with 2 out, the 1-2. Game over. And the Yankees take a 3-games-to-1 advantage in this ALCS. And so those who are left here at Fenway Park watching as the Yankees come part of the way out of their dugout, about halfway out onto the playing field as they wait for O'Neill, Curtis, and Williams to join the situation in the celebration. We go down to Keith Olbermann. Keith.
Thanks, Joe. Principal owner George Steinbrenner of the Yankees joins me just for a moment. Do you have a reaction to this last inning?
It was quite regrettable. I'm sorry that it happened. The excitement level here was pretty tremendous, and it could happen anywhere. I'm just sorry it happened here because we've been treated beautifully by Boston up till this point. And, you know, people were upset of losing. Their manager was getting my vote for manager of the year. He really invoked it tonight. He incited it, I should say. But, you know, those things happen. So we'll be out here again tomorrow night.
All right.
Okay, Keith.
Mr. Steinbrenner, thank you much. Joe Buck, back upstairs to you.
All right, Keith. Some classy comments by George Steinbrenner. Don't know that I agree with him on the part of Jimmy Williams, who went out obviously frustrated for very good reason.
Nor do I.
And as we wrap up game 4, the headlines tomorrow here at Boston, at least, will involve the umpires as we look ahead to game 5. Game 5 is tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. And the Yankees are 1 win away from returning to the World Series to defend their title. For Tim McCarver, Bob Brentley, Keith Olbermann, and Steve Lyons, this is Joe Buck. So long from Fenway Park. Final score here in game 4, a 9-2 victory for the Yankees. Again, join us tomorrow night for game 5 of the American League Championship Series. It'll be Kent Mercker against Orlando Hernandez beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. For more information on tonight's game, log on to foxsports.com. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of Major League Baseball. A tight game until we got to the top of the 9th inning. A missed call by this umpiring crew. Jimmy Williams ejected, and the frustration continues to mount for the Red Sox and their fans. We look forward to game 5 tomorrow night. Hope you make a date with us from Fenway Park. For all of us, good night from Boston.